Hello again, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Chats with Jack. I'm Jack Talcott. Once again, we're going to discuss some things about fear, spirituality, God, and the day. For those who pause and recognize the tradition and the meanings of today, the Easter Sunday, the memory and recognition of the sacrifices and resurrection of the perfected one, as many would say, Jesus, Yeshua, from a long time ago. So today is a day of recognition for many, and many of different faiths recognize the messages of the man. But I think a lot of people have lost the meanings. People are so caught up in the messenger, in the title of the messenger, or in the opinions of the messenger, or the opinions of the message. But lots of people miss the meanings. So today I kind of want to discuss what some things mean. We do have our first guest. Welcome, John. Good to see you again, brother.
Hi,
Happy
Jack.
Ramadan.
Thank you. Happy Easter. I guess if you're a cultural Christian or something like that, yeah. Happy Easter Sunday for you. How are you today?
I'm blessed, brother, and thank you for joining. Hey, admittedly, the Happy Ramadan came from your title, and I know you'd mentioned previously that you were in a period of fasting in recognition of the time. Ramadan is not a period I really know much about. I know it has significance, and the significance, as I understand, is towards devotion and purity. Am I right on this stuff? Maybe help me know.
Absolutely. It's actually one of the pillars. It's one of the 5 pillars of the faith that you have to fast. I believe it's number 3 that you have to fast. And then part of that is also paying zakat during Ramadan as well too. You have to pay a certain amount towards a charity as well, or just an amount, I guess. Just the gesture of donating to a cause of some sorts. So that's basically it. Also, I know there's a misconception of Islam and that it's hostile towards Christianity. It's not. It actually, part of saying my Shahada was saying that we recognize all the prophets of Abraham, and that they're no superior but the other, but we recognize all of their wisdom and their messages as well. Another thing too, we don't celebrate the prophet's birthday as well, but with Christianity, you guys celebrate the birth of Jesus. So with that, being a good Christian, obviously you have to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So I don't accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, so I'm an infidel to Christianity, and I guess maybe by extension the liberal West, but I think that's where God put me, and this is the place, and I have a different perspective on things, and I know you like to have different perspectives, so that's just my 2 cents there for you. Well, and also, John, too, Jack, I'd also like to put the record, I wasn't trying to disparage you with the comment I had on Paul's. I just basically, I view Christianity has failed the West in obtaining moral standards. And so I was just making a comment, like, obviously these people are unshameful in their conduct and their false character assassinations, but I wouldn't take it too personally. They've done that to me as well too, for a different reason, but same reason, but different perspective. But I'd say that you obviously have some honor. You tried to bring back your family, paying thousands of dollars, and obviously you follow Christianity and you're close with God. So you're a brother of faith in my books. So thank you. I didn't mean to be. I know I come across as I'm very concise and clear with my words, and I do that as as part of my activism. Is that's how I'm effective with the messages that I come across. I always want to come across as you want to say something that resonates with people's ears, not only that they can understand it, but that they can criticize it and they could show their ineptness as well too. So that's maybe my perspective on maybe how you can improve with how you get your messages out there. Just my 2 cents though. What do I know? I'm just a infidel Muslim.
I appreciate the thoughts and observations. I mean, I did ask about the Ramadan because I don't judge and dismiss the various faiths. I know that there is value to be found in many of the traditions, many of the commitments, and we share similar views on the problems of Christianity. I mean, I'm very open and vocal about my disappointment with the churches and the way that religions have been manipulated through history and towards man. But Christianity is not alone in those behaviors, and there is evidence of violence and conflict between those who have labeled themselves based on religions, between the Islamic faith and the Christian, and vice versa. There's been hate. And I'm not saying that is you, John, but where I wanted to point out, though, is I welcome it. I welcome the other observations, but this condemnation that people have been practicing, placing themselves within the judgment of God as though they have the ultimate discernment, that's a practice that humanity, frankly, needs to break. Honestly, that was, if you'll allow, actually, I'd like to continue. This kind of segues into some of the thought processes I had on my own earlier today. The glory of God, the perfection of the Almighty, the intelligence, it's incomprehensible. The intelligence that designed the order and systems for time and form to exist within space. Okay, now those words are accurate. The intelligence that designed this experience for us is beyond what we could even imagine, and I think it's by design. It's a fun game our Creator designed. We're not designed. This was the thought I shared on Facebook earlier, and for those who here, since this is the life I'm living now, please remember to do the social media stuff, subscribe, and if you think people might enjoy these conversations, share this link and this source with others. So, and on Facebook earlier, I shared something about God is life. Life, by my definition, is simply an experience of time. And so, from our perspective, God is life. And life is only confusing to those who think life is for themselves. We do not live for ourselves. I do not live for Jack, John. That is not the reason I exist. The sustenance of Jack is my responsibility because Jack is the gift that God allowed me to receive. But the only reason Jack exists in this realm at this time is to serve the will of God. And who am I to know the will of God except the path God reveals for me? And so,
oh, sorry. You paused.
no,
I apologize. I just wanted to put my input in.
please do.
You before I came on, you're making a really good monologue about focusing on the message as opposed to the messengers. I really like that because I share that perspective from an Islamic point of view. Yeah. So maybe you want to go on that as well too.
Thank you, John. I appreciate that invitation. I mean, it is our egoic mind, the mind that is within us, not the mind that's beyond us, but the mind that is limited by our memories and imaginations. That mind is focused on self-preservation because it's what this world has taught us to do, is to survive and look out for ourselves, and we only become that which we attach ourselves to. And children are taught to attach themselves to the parents or the teachers or to the school, and adults are taught to attach to a religion or to a boss, an employer, or an economic system or a political system. And so everyone is attaching themselves to different things, judging each other as though we're different. All we are is data points. I mean, if you use like the the vocabulary of technology, of computers, we are like data points who carry and transmit and receive information. That's all we are. But the egoic mind, the one that thinks it survives, that thinks it matters because we have a form, the egoic mind wants to be, well, it's divided. It's just the silly game God created for us. It's all it is. Life is just a silly game. So take it seriously or don't. It's up to you. And I found that when you stop taking life seriously and you start taking love and knowledge seriously, like the truth, like you fucking worship the truth as though it's something important. It's literally that simple, man. All we got to do is be honest. It's all what all the ancient philosophies were saying, how to be a good human, right? How to be a good human is resolve the conflicts, resolve the desires and the attachments, and then build your strength into your grounded nature, into your physical being. And recognize, we can fill ourselves with the energy of life through exercise, through nutrition, through sunlight, through celebration. We can fill ourselves with the energy of life, or focus on survival in a world that's dark and it's tough and it's scary and it's uncaring.
Yep.
Because all these things are true, John. Sorry, you were saying something.
Have you heard of the term idolatry?
Yes.
I think what you just described about people worshiping their political system, their relationships, it would be the term idolatry.
I'd
And
love
actually,
to.
Christians, if you actually ask Christians about this, they'll understand it too. And idolatry of the mind is very fascinating in the effects that it can have on human beings. They like not focusing on God, the true source of light, over soul, whatever Allah, what do you want to call it? And we always want to make intermediaries. We want to, this leader will get us out of this, and this political leader or this YouTube personality or whomever will get us out. And I've noticed that in all aspects of life, in this journey going through here and where I've been before and here where I am now, I've noticed that everyone is always looking for someone to save them, but you can only save yourself.
Hey, John, thank you. you're saying these things, and I'm paying attention to what you're saying. It's inspiring these thoughts. Idolatry. My biggest criticism of what I have witnessed of those practicing the Christian religion is that they place the name of Jesus on a pedestal, that they also place a book, the Bible, on a pedestal, and they idolize the words from a book and the thoughts they have of that image of a man. They idolize the image and a book. It's like, it's, I don't know if you saw, I was on Proper Instruction Motivates People earlier. Paul Unslave shared a brief clip of Bruce Lee with that old, the fingers pointing at the moonlight and everyone focuses on the finger. The religions are pointing to God, the Bible, an example of Jesus, the messenger of Jesus, the prophets, the Buddhas. They were pointing the way to the divine. So what I've also realized too is this materialist world, the brainwashing and conditioning that we've been raised with, it is on a materialist agenda. You focus on everything as a thing so that it can be owned. We've even gone so far as to make thoughts and ideas things. That's why intellectual property is so, well, you withhold ideas from people, you keep them ignorant, and you make money off the fools. It's a brilliant fucking game. Sorry, we got into the economics part of this, didn't we?
That's okay. I guess maybe a different perspective I can share with the scriptures is that it's an instruction manual in how to live a holy life and to become closer to God. Like I said earlier, it's not supposed to be an intermediary of God, but I guess, as humans, I guess maybe you could argue that instinctively, maybe like we can know what the holy life is, and then maybe that's why. But the words of the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or the Vedic traditions, which I think a lot of the Vedic traditions come out of Christianity as well too. I don't know if you're aware of that, but anyway, I was just saying, like, it's just basically like an instruction manual, and it's to only be treated as such. It's not supposed to be the be all end all into trying to one up over somebody in terms of worshiping it, right? Like, this is the instruction manual of a divine messenger. Obviously, he had some wisdom to share in that, there's some people who follow it, and there is some precepts that are very important, just like in the Constitution, that a lot of people like to revere. In that America is really the only country in the world that has absolute free speech as an explicit in their Constitution. Everywhere else, it's limited. You can always say
Well,
America
here, John,
has. Mhm.
go ahead with finish your thought. Sorry.
Yeah, so America having free speech to bring these thoughts out is very new to the human experience, because we've always had like Catholic Church lead us, or the Queen, or monarch, anything like that, right? And they served as kind of an intermediary before God. But the America is an experiment of the Protestant Reformation, where Protestants had a chance to build their own country from scratch and
It's
separating
America.
Mhm.
America is the result of many things, both good and bad. It is a combination of the past, and it is where we can start building the future. So while America has had its faults and its atrocities, and it's still, in my opinion, a criminalized nation, it is what it is. So one of the things I was doing today, started out on Paul's platform earlier, and it turned into a gauntlet of people wanting to, quote unquote, prepare me in case I do get in front of people at the UN. So they wanted to waste my time arguing with me and challenging my ability, which really will only know what I can achieve if it happens. But after the disrespect I felt I received, after I experienced what I viewed as disrespect offered to me, I continued on with my day, and I sought out other inspirations. And one of them was that guy, John St. Julian. Um, I'm not going to bring him up, but he shared a very inspiring message of today as well, about the truth of the messages of Jesus. What it was, what does the stories mean? What is all of the intention behind what was shared? Obviously, God intended for this to... I place value in the words of the book, number one, because truth is true. When you consider it and you evaluate it for yourself, truth is true. You know it. And the truth that's shared, especially in the red letter parts of the Bible, the stuff Jesus spoke of, there's a lot of meanings beyond just the historical meanings. There is the mystical meanings. There is the greater meanings. I mean, that's how our God works. Our God reveals all things. All things are revealed through the truth, and truth has many, 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 many layers and many, many, many perspectives. So it's through the layers of truth and time that we are. And the only thing that is true is God. And the only way God can be known is through our life. We only know of God or life because we know today, right now. So time is really an illusion. That's actually, I shared this earlier. Hey guys, those who are joining me here, I believe there are great things being aligned and prepared for the future of this message. And I'm simply a messenger of the idea and the reassurance from God of live without fear. It is the same messages that Jesus was sharing. I'm sharing it in my way, from my experience, not from a book. But I'm telling you, praise of the Father, the infinite God that is beyond what we can imagine, not some bearded man sitting in a cloud. That's something God or man imagined and created. But if you go beyond, recognize that God is the verb. It is the power that allows the verbs to be, right? So God is a force. God is back to the materialistic ideas of things. John, you and I are not things. We are verbs. We are nature in the action of being, just like everything else around us. We are in the process of life, which is not a thing. It is an activity, a phenomenon, an experience. So if we're all from the same source, The story of Jesus, as I understand it, as it was told, was many, many, many deep meanings regarding sacrifice and the laws of exchange, but also perhaps perhaps divine messages and divine covenants made between our creator and human species. So if that's true, then the murder and resurrection of the man named Jesus somehow did absolve the sins of mankind, that through the impurities of the choices made by Adam and Eve, and there was punishments and sacrifice and time made, there was an evolution of mankind until the time of Jesus, and then by his actions, his gift, his expression of love, which was to be a physical expression of our God, it showed us the compassion that we have been forgiven. So all the sins we ever did, and even the sins we might still do, they have been forgiven. It doesn't make it a fucking excuse. It does not make it an excuse to sin, but sin is rewarded in this world of Shaitan, the Luciferian dogmas and traditions of control that keep us divided. It is all contingent upon our idolization of money and man's quote unquote authority. Praise God.
Do you want me to hear my perspective on Jesus's death?
Please. Did you have anything based on what I said?
Yeah. So basically, like Jesus, from a Muslim perspective, didn't necessarily die. Like he was on the cross, but he came back the next day because he didn't necessarily die. He was just badly wounded, and then he came back. Like back in the day, you know, a lot of people would you know there wasn't really social media or anything like that, so it was just thought, wow, this is a miracle. So in a way, it's a miracle, but in another way, it almost undeifies the Christian Trinity or the cross or anything like that.
I
Uh,
disagree.
mm,
Because the mere fact that a man demonstrates that with the faith and power, the unification of God, that one can overcome,
mm,
and if in fact I do, but growing up, I was more along, well, here, as I've been learning history, many of our founding fathers I was taught, were of the Christian faith, but most of them were actually not. They had their own composition of Christianity, which applied only reasoning, and they demystified the Bible. I can't remember, was it one of the presidents wrote his own Bible, and that was just it. He took out the miracles and just said that Jesus was just a good man, type of thing. Growing up, I maintained kind of that idea. I saw Jesus as that's the example of man I'd love to be, but this miracle nonsense, I don't buy that. As I became an adult, and in the more recent years, when I did go through my own transformation, I heard many firsthand accounts of people who have experienced demonic possession and demonic experiences, as well as those who have experienced angelic and perhaps outer worldly, interdimensional experiences. So to me, and actually in my life coaching experience, right? Learning from people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Mary Morrissey, uh, even Tony Robbins, people are experiencing miracles, not only in health, but in experience. So I know for a doubt miracles exist. Um, Personally, I have no experience other than my own. I think my recovery from alcoholism and the fact that, well, I think I've done a lot of things that could be considered unbelievable, but not quite miraculous yet.
Okay. I guess maybe the one, like, I agree with you, like, on 99% of what you said, but I think the one part that kind of, it's almost like a placebo of the Christian mind is that he died for your sin. Like, I like the message of standing up for something and dying, whether he died or not, or whatever. That's debatable, but we weren't
Hey,
there, right? So, but I'm just saying, like, the concept, the metaphysical concept that someone died for your sins, it almost goes back to, I always ask Christians, well, doesn't it say in the Bible that Jesus rebuked those that said that he saved them, but wasn't of their own faith that saved themselves, and he would just show them the way?
I think, hey, John, I actually agree with you. This might be one of the first times where I've actually even brought that up because I've never bought into that. No man can die for my sins. I'm fucking accountable for what I do. Um, so I didn't believe in that. But this inspiration I got, and I presented it poorly. His message is that if you do believe in the stories and you do believe in the purpose of it, well, then that act, it was the ultimate show of forgiveness.
Hmm.
And that's the whole idea. It's this, hey, brother, what keeps us enslaved really in our minds is guilt and resentment. Guilt and resentment brings shame. Shame brings hopelessness. But it's all because of guilt, judgment. How you doing, Dick? Good to see you, brother. Anything striking you?
Well, right when I came in, you said what I was going to say, so you kind of took the thunder out of my kernels of wisdom and truth. I was going to drop great, profound nuggets of truth. Yeah, I don't think anybody dies for our sin, unless you could get me to buy into it from the perspective that he died to get us that message that we're not of this world. We're in this world, but we're not of this world, and what's in us is greater than what's in this world, and that what is in us is a conscience that steers us, that will cause us to overcome this world if we'll listen to that small still voice that steers us. So it's the kingdom is in the midst of us. It's where we gather together in truth with the intention of lifting each other up. And if we put it all on what somebody else did in a different time in a different place, then we're not going to do what that same guy told you to do, which was to do greater things than him. So you have to surpass what the previous prophets and the previous teachers did. Otherwise, you're just resting on the laurels. We're supposed to get on the shoulders of giants and stand up taller and even do more.
Hmm.
Beautifully said, Dick. Absolutely. And it's there's a fine line. I don't know the right words to say it, but it is humbling when you realize that what you said, Dick, is true. That we can accomplish greater things. We can stand on the giants who we've looked up to. And honestly, that's what I've been trying to do. I started learning about the life coaching, self development. I studied some of the top psychologists, some of today and the past, studied those who have had success in transformational speaking and coaching. I've studied, I learned their principles. And while I don't have the results and achievements of others, I believe that God has allowed me to do just that, to stand upon the giants of stand upon the shoulders of some of the intellectual giants we have had in the past. Not to claim I know everything they know, not in the slightest bit, but to just see a little bit over, combine some of those ideas, bring them all together and kind of see a different direction. And that's what brought me to this. I think if these psychologists or life coaches understood the potential they could make by educating the people who have been placed in leadership in positions of responsibility. We've got citizens in positions of responsibility in the United States government throughout the nation who do not know how to honorably lead themselves or others into greater destinies. Even the people in quote unquote leadership positions, they are stuck in this obedience mindset of following the rules imagined and enforced by others. And today on Easter Sunday, that was what it's my belief of the story. Not to minimize or distract, but there was a lot of agreements and traditions and communications recorded throughout time. And then the story of Jesus was an ascended master, a mystic who knew the truth, who came out to the common man to try and share the knowledge that there was different ways. And in God's greater purpose, it wasn't for the truth to be known and spread at that time, but for the seeds of thought to be planted. Because I believe throughout time, God has given us and all other beings free will to do as we choose. That's why there are beings of darkness and beings of light, and we are ones in the middle. We get to choose who we serve and what influences we receive. But I believe Jesus was recorded as living a perfect life. And what's a perfect life? One who does not stray from the truth, one who does not stray from love. And so he lived the perfect life in the world of the oppressed. God allowed him to be murdered publicly by the obedient slaves in the police state, while the ignorant stood by and made excuses. But they didn't know. It wasn't time for them to know. So the time came where everyone was dispersed, the information was kind of hidden, lost, twisted, and then, before we were born, printing presses came about again, books and literature, then, sprouts of educational systems started to grow again. But hey, the point of today, Jesus was murdered. As an example. And I think each of us are living in our own lives, in our own ways. Well, according to the Bible, creation started a long time ago, and we are just today's part of creation. And I think the message that God will be revealing through us in the future, and my hope is to do as well, is to wake people up to the fact that God is in absolute control, but there is no separation between us and God until we give away our self-control. I don't know. Man has a role in this time of creation and has had a role in all time of creation, but by God's will, by God's grace, I believe the veils of confusion will be lifted. And it could happen like this. It could be today. Today, God could open the minds and soften the hearts of people around the world. But at this point, I'm just content being me. I love being me, especially at this time of history. And where I am. Dude, there's wars going on. There's people locked up. There's violence, sickness. We are blessed.
Yeah. So one criticism I have that I've heard from other people when I show them your content is that you're a little bit full of yourself. And this is people who are like they're not in the sphere, right? And so they say like you come across as you're full of yourself, and as you say things like "I love being me." Um, do you want to explain that a little bit more? What you mean by that?
John, I truly
Well, see,
appreciate
to
that.
start off, though, John, for Jack to be full of himself, we would have to know what Jack is. So you have
Right.
to define Jack in completeness for us to know what he's full of.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's still unexplainable mystery that you're proposing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should explain myself a little bit better. Thank you, Dick. Um, I guess full of. Let's go with the term arrogance.
That's fair. Pride and arrogance are comments that I understand. I can appreciate that observation, but I would challenge to ask what is accurate. And that's what you're doing. I had these thoughts earlier today, too. I get accused of arrogance because I am confident. The reason I'm confident is I have no agenda. I'm sharing the truth that God has allowed me to learn. I've challenged the things that I believe. I've challenged my actions, my feelings. And I try to choose my words carefully as I speak. There's times, of course, when I get engaged and respond in negativity, but my confidence comes through humility. If that, because I don't know. I don't know. No, here, there is some arrogance
Mm-hmm.
because after 5 years of negativity, nothing but negative feedback for the most part, um, I've realized it's not my job to please anybody anymore. I
Mm.
really, no matter what I've done, no matter what I've tried, everyone finds excuses or reasons. And so that's what I mean is I'm learning to trust that God is allowing me to be me. Because I've tried being perfect like Jesus. Doesn't help. Doesn't work. Nobody
Mm.
sees it. They just find reasons to disrespect me. So I'm being more comfortable. I still try to be like Jesus like I said, the way I define Jesus is being grounded in the presence of being with a calm mind and a heart filled with love. I that's I spend my days like that.
Yeah,
So,
you are a different. You are one of a kind. I'll have to say that because a lot of people like to get. It almost is like a human reaction, or I guess you explain it as the human ego, where they kind of insulate themselves and they limit themselves of different opportunity due to kind of the strictness or adherence to set ideology, and to branch out is uh, haram. May I use a Islamic term? Um, but naturally, humans are looking for a religion, whether they want to admit it or not. They want something that they can believe in, and that they are. It can be used for bad purposes, obviously. Um, we don't need. We could just glance at a history book and see the horrors, but there is
Well,
a
we were
positive
taught to look
aspect
for a
of it.
religion. We were taught to
There's a
look for a
positive
religion.
aspect of it of fulfillment and serving a purpose greater than yourself. That I think would be the positive aspect of it, and the negative aspect would be, um, you know, division. I guess as you explain it really well.
We don't need a religion, though, right?
Uh we make religions in our head all the time.
well,
Like
we don't
people
have
It's
say
just a
to,
you're
John.
acting like a zealot, and it could be like a communist. A
It's
communist
kind of like
is
a safety blanket, though, right? If it's just something rooted in an idea that is rooted in hope, but it has no like substance behind it, then it's just, like a lot of the history or a lot of the stories they tell you. If you don't learn something from it, what value does it have? It's just a traditional. It's just a carnal ordinance at that point. So I think a lot of times to say that we're as humans predisposed to want religion, I don't think that's really the case. I think we were taught to think in a way that is needy and trying
right.
to
Amen.
complete
That,
ourselves or make something of ourselves when that's a falsehood.
well,
Can I?
obviously, oh, okay. Maybe I will push back on this, if I may. That is kind of like a
Sure.
liberal critique of religion or any practice of faith of discipline and ordinance. But um, people need discipline in their lives, and they need to know, I guess, the status of serving their higher purpose. May I say that? And what I think Dick is, and I get what Dick is saying, and that is true in some aspects, but in other aspects, there is an unexplainable force that people have a longing for, even if it's community, even if it's some sort of, if it is religion or if it's an ideology. All these people always flock towards serving something higher and serving something that is calling to them in their most inner being, whether you want to call it a spirit or a connection to God.
Hey,
You're
John.
God.
saying they're looking for status. Isn't that unique to Christianity? I mean, most of the other religions don't really give you any definitive status, right? Christianity. So, I mean, why would people
There's a
be
status.
attracted
There's a status
to?
for all religions, right? There's a
Well, you're not
status for
saying
all
your personal. I
religions.
thought you
Well,
meant like your personal standing with God. Like people have a natural need for
Yeah,
that, so that's why they go to religion.
yeah.
hey,
So then,
John.
yeah.
Let, let me jump in here. I'd love to hear. I'd love to greet Mike as well. We were just getting into the topic of religions. Um, and John, I want to challenge where you're coming from. I get what you're saying.
Hmm.
Um, Here's my own experience, okay? What I realized of myself. We come into this with a need, with a desire for connection because we are separated from our creator, from the divine. Now, the world teaches us that our first connection is, and physically, our first connection is the mother and the father, the family, right? But we grow up with these connections, mental and emotional connections between ourselves and the family. And then we break away from our family, still needing, still empty, still seeking. And then we go find a connection to a spouse or a partner. Maybe we go through multiple relationships trying to find our connection. Well, this is the silly game. The connection we're all seeking, it's to God. We don't need the religions. We just need God.
But doesn't the religions actually say that too? You're not going to find fulfillment in relationships and uh, material things, but you're going to find the fulfillment of a worship. That's what I said. Is religion is basically a spiritual instruction manual and a guide into the source and how to be in this world, as above, so below, right?
Can
And
can you
so there's
accept?
obviously instructions from the higher down to the lower and how to conduct ourselves here in the here and now.
Sure, but John, can you accept the idea that religions come from the world? That we're supposed to break
Religions,
free of the world
obviously,
and
because we are of the world, but not of it. We are of the world, but we're not in the world, right? So as above, so below. Maybe meditate on that a little bit, right? Because
I have
obviously we have to move
I
this
have
vessel
John.
somewhere, right? We can't just have, ascend to 5D. We're still in this physical vessel. And obviously
Well,
there's some instructions that we need to follow
yes,
in order for us to live a more virtuous life that can
yes,
serve the community, that can serve
John.
that'll serve God or Yahweh or Yeshua, whatever you
Yes,
call it, and that
John.
will have a positive impact into your next life, wherever that may be.
Yes, John. And I'm sorry to keep interrupting, but
Hmm.
the religions and humans make it very confusing. It's very simple. The true message,
Yeah.
it's love. Okay, started out under the Abrahamic traditions, these 10 rules, 10 commandments, and then Jesus comes, shows through his actions, through his words, through his grace, breaks down the rules to 2. And you know what? I'm a simple man, and that's what God is creating me to be. And I believe I am a messenger for the Creator. And I think we can simplify Jesus's rule to 1: love. Love is always the answer, and love doesn't need words. Love doesn't need definitions. Love is the energy that is.
What do you mean by the definition of love, the context we're using it?
Love is the energy that reveals, it attracts and repels. Love is the energy of motion and the energy behind all of the human emotions. It is variations and degrees of love. And just like hot and cold, they are the same. They're just different degrees. But that's what love is. We know love through what is good, and we fear that which we view as not good. But all that is good, because all that is God. Who are we to judge?
So would you say that rebuking someone is not out of love, it's out of division or hate or the antithesis of love? If you
Rebuking
rebuke
is out
somebody,
of love. Out of love.
Sorry, I was just playing a thought experiment with Jack and trying to, suss out his context and his inferences he when he meant by love. But yes,
Oh,
I
nice.
don't know what
I like thought experiments.
yeah.
your audio is a little choppy again, Mike. I don't know what's going on. If you have any ideas,
How about that?
it's a little choppy, but I'm glad you're here.
I'll switch to the
Just a little
iPad.
low, I think. Maybe turn up your mic a little bit.
Let's try. How about now? How about now?
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Does it sound good or doesn't sound good?
It sounds better.
Nah, you sound like an opera singer through a garbage disposal. It's not.
All right,
Like you got it.
I'll switch to another iPad. I'll be back.
If you
All right.
will. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
John, you asked a question that Mike answered. I wasn't ready to answer because I wasn't sure what you meant by rebuking. I wasn't sure how to
Right.
answer.
If you're rebuking somebody that you see that is fallen astray from the path of the word, could that be out of love or is that out of hate or fear?
I believe it could be done both ways.
Okay.
But
it's a tricky question, right?
Well, it is and it is not. We can overcomplicate.
I think you should put it back on John, because it is a tough question to answer. It's good to hear the perspective on that. Like, how do you define love, John? Because you're asking it. And
thank you.
Ooh, love. I would say what I find love is empathy and compassion for your fellow man. Excuse me for my human definition. And that can include, let's stick with that, and then we can go off there. Empathy and compassion for your human man. You don't want them to do things that you wouldn't want to do, and that would include immoral behavior.
I'd like to throw mine in. It's real quick. It's just follow the conscience that sears you, because it's between you and God. So, if you violate what the Most High gives you, then you're accountable to that. And even if anyone else doesn't care, you still have to know in your heart you didn't do what the Most High compelled you to.
Yes. Yep.
I love that. I think you've said that before. What'd you say it? The pure consciousness within, or something like that. You've the pure seer.
Yeah, maybe.
I love that answer. Because love, it's a verb. It's guided moment by moment, revealed through the actions and interpretations, I think. How you doing, Flo? You're driving, but good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to see you guys too.
And Nate, I don't know if I even said hi to you. Welcome to you as well, brother.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, what's up, everybody?
Guys, I got to admit, this kind of is what you guys are sharing with me is something I've been hoping to have for a long time. Fellowship about things that I find important. And I never used to find God or religion important. I used to focus on politics and economics, but today, the day of Easter, I'm telling you
Yeah,
guys, we are a part of something magical. And the human arrogance, speaking for myself, we've lost sight of, lost sight of, maybe we never knew how magical life really is. Children can see the magic in the rainbows and the floating of a butterfly. Children see the magic, but as we mature, we get focused on these problems and, all this negativity, these burdens and obligations we impose upon ourselves and each other.
I think that's absolutely right, Jack. Where focus goes, energy flows, and we misallocate our energy by way of focus.
Well, we enter a different brainwave state. I don't remember which one we go to, but it's like theta to beta or some shit like that. After what, 7 or 8, 6 or 7.
Yep, we're in theta up until that point, which is basically we're susceptible to brainwashing.
It's a state of hypnosis essentially. So
Right.
yeah.
Paradigm is formed in this time.
I think they brought in the dogma of Paul and the whole blood covering your sins to really get us to not take ownership. And then they put all this, almost every Christian religion has this thing about magic and how, like, if you were to look at alchemy or any of these aspects of our reality, that you would be somehow engaged in demonic activity or something. And
Right.
when you look at what Christ did, all his shit was miracles. He was like transmutating everything. He's shaping this whole fucking realm with his thoughts in his hands, bringing people back from the dead. So if we're going to do that, I think we have to understand the reality more, and that's really the challenge in front of us, is to get back to the sacred knowledge, and that's where we really overcome this world. It's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak.
Hey, Dick, what you just said is so true. We've got to understand it, but the ego mind actually doesn't want to accept it. It doesn't want to accept that this is magical, that there is a power beyond just us, because it's humbling. But the only way we can understand something or someone is to accept them. And that kind of ties into what John and I were talking maybe before you showed up about how people judge the messenger and they just dismiss the messages because their thoughts are on what they think instead of what is presented.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. They'll attack your character before they address the content of what you said often. I see that quite a bit in these streets.
Happens all the time to me.
Is that you
But
echoing?
if the messenger,
Am I echoing again?
I think so. Do you have another tab open by chance?
If you got the
Okay.
YouTube
Okay.
channel open, it's probably doing
All
it.
right. All right. My bad.
Actually,
I'll be back.
it might be gone. No, it might be gone. Maybe I misspoke. Flo, you were saying something. Go ahead, and maybe we'll hear.
I don't remember. What were we talking about?
We were talking about how like it's hard for the ego to contemplate the
The
spiritual.
messenger. Shoot the messenger, right? Instead of looking at the message. So
Mhm.
that only is a problem if the messenger is an unbiased delivery mechanism. But when the messenger is delivering their own message, you should absolutely judge the messenger.
I'm gonna have to disagree because
Yeah, I got. Let me close my tabs. Let me try closing my tabs.
I'm just gonna mute
This is
you
where it
for.
gets a little into semantics for me, because judgment, to me is appropriate if it's a righteous judgment. In this meat suit, though, you don't do that with condemning type of terms. We're not God, so we don't condemn people to hell. We recognize something
Yeah.
if it's good, right, and true, and we also recognize it if it's the lie.
Right. We don't have the capacity to condemn people for their crimes or sins. So I don't, that's not how I'm using it. Discernment, maybe, is a different way to put it. But you should critique the message based on the source, the original source of the message. There's a lot of noise out there, and you got to find some way to cut through it. And that's one of the most sure ways.
Sorry, I allowed my mind to drift. I went back, and for those who were blocked, I've unblocked whoever it was that was.
I think Mike was trying his mic again, but it was muted. I don't know if he got it fixed. How's it going, bud?
How's it going?
Lot better. Lot better.
Oh, much
Okay.
better. Thank you.
I had to delete
Loud
that
and
tab, I
clear.
think.
Oh, while you were talking, I'm sorry. I did allow my mind to distract, like I said, with the settings, but this idea of judging the messenger, that is how we stay foolish and ignorant, by believing that thinking we know what someone's going to say. And then our mind is focused on proving ourselves right rather than accepting what they offer. And I'm offering this as one who has been misunderstood for several years now.
I know you're personalizing my point, which is really hard to argue with, which is that you should critique the source of information. And absolutely everybody should do that.
Okay. Hey, Flo, let me not be disagreeable, because what you're saying has truth as well.
Yeah. Then we were dealing with the mic situation, and so, but yeah.
I get what you're saying. If someone has a pattern of being unreliable, of being manipulative, absolutely take what is shared with them, from them, within the context of the source.
With a grain of salt.
But the reality is, I believe God reveals the truth through the darkness just as much as through the light. And
Sure,
even
but if you, but I mean, if you, everything comes out in the light eventually. But if you, listen to the wrong people and you invested all your money in crypto, or you got it because it was safe and effective, like at some point, you should have been a little more discerning earlier, I guess, is kind of only my point.
No, absolutely. This though is a thing that we as a species, as humans, we have got to find ways to start communicating with each other, at least the people who's brought into our experience. Right?
it's so important to communicate. It's like this whole thing with if someone asks you how's it going, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. But you're not doing good. You're just like not wanting to put your burdens on other people. You don't want them to stress out or feel bad for you because you got it under control, but you literally feel like fucking shit and you feel like your stomach's getting stabbed like a million times. Yeah. And so what I've been doing is just telling people if I feel I'm doing good, I say I'm doing good. But if I feel like I'm not doing good, I'll say I'm dealing with this or whatever. And it's funny because there'll be a little bit of a radio silence for a little bit because people only want to not hear that. They don't want.
Well, they weren't actually asking that question.
Yeah, and they were asking that question.
No, they weren't asking that question. They said those words, but it was a figure of speech for hi, right? They're just saying hi.
Right.
Yeah, they don't actually want to know. They want to hear your coined packaged answer that's the expected response so that we can all just have our feel good feelers,
Yeah.
for a minute.
And meanwhile, nothing gets solved, nothing gets done. It appears everybody's doing good. You just ask everybody, everybody's doing good. Everybody's having an epic tragedy. Every day is an epic tragedy for some people.
Hey, let me throw this out there. Hey, Flo, we're getting feedback. That's why I'm going to mute you up for a minute. I remember my days of drinking. I was constantly in a fog, constantly hungover. How you doing, Jack? Fucking lying every day because I would tell people I'm fine or I'm just tired or whatever. I was struggling and lying, and I was too cowardly to ask for help. So what you're saying, Mike, people ask, hey, how you doing? But they don't mean it. It's a form of expression, a way for the ego to feel comfortable. But when people start learning how to communicate, when we start pausing our lives, when we have a few minutes with each other, so that we can actually establish that emotional, psychological connection with each other.
Yeah, concern and care.
Well, it goes back to love being a verb. And the verb of love, the action of love, is the effort and sharing of attention and energy.
Yes.
Love you, brother.
I love you too. That was best. I couldn't put it actually any better way. Yeah.
Well, hey, Mike, honestly, that's kind of why I'm really glad to see you. I believe God is using us as messengers. We've been preparing, we are preparing, and eventually God will give us a chance to see how prepared we are.
Believe it or not, I think that we're already in that phase of finding out because things are speeding up so fast. Our minds, we want to just imagine that we have infinity of time. I mean, that's the main reason why people have a problem with
we do that.
Yeah. It makes it so you can relax. Nobody
It's
wants
a trip,
to
though, that the mind does that, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of what the mind does is solve problems and is kind of a survival tool, if you will, while you're in existence here. But in that aspect, it kind of deludes itself and lies to itself like it's got tons of time. Even old people, you can hear they make plans like they're going to be here for another 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you're 3 days away from fucking death, man. What are you talking about?
Hey, Dick, you just said something there beautiful. The mind is a tool for problem solving, right? But the thing is our tools always want to serve their purpose. So if you don't have a problem you're actively solving, the mind will invent problems.
No, let me say it this way. The mind is a tool for problem solving.
Yeah.
And it got to its head and started solving the problem of you. And so now, hi Wizard. And so now it's not concerned with you. And so not you guys, but like with the basic individuals, they're not concerned with doing any deep sea diving into the soul and spirit and purposes of this world. It thinks, okay, I'm gonna make sure that things are easygoing and so that they can live long. But what if the most honorable way to go is a short life, lived honorably with valor, conviction, walking in truth? Now, nobody wants a short life, so everybody just pretty much took the broad way and decided to sell out anything that'll make them fucking happy. And so we're trying to steer these people, because the whole thing is, it's okay, we can understand the problem, we can see it, but we're trying to mesh this into a way that is a catalyst for change, instead of us just always talking about the piss poor things in life.
Well, I'm not sure where we're going with this. I'm always wondering, what do we do? What do we do now? Now that we know, because we do know there's problems. So if we look beyond the problems with faith towards the solutions, I actually see some amazing, incredible opportunities before us right now.
That's all praise to the Most High for that. Yeah.
Praise for you.
And what I was trying to elaborate yesterday for those who were in attendance. I do apologize. I was a little bit I don't know, feisty. And
you were feisty yesterday.
And
Mike,
yeah.
I'm sorry, but this comment is true. I don't know what the heck is going on with your audio, dude, but it's crackling again. I don't know what.
Let me try it again. I'm gonna restart my whole thing and then I'll try again.
Much love, brother. I don't.
Yep.
I appreciate the cooperation. Welcome, Wizard. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, I just popped in. I saw you were on. Wanted to let you know I did finally finish up my contact with the UN, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Alphabet Inc., FTC, and FCC. The video, I did go ahead and do a stream on it, so everybody gets to see and hear what I wrote. Feel free to check it out. It is not on YouTube because they're the ones that struck my channel, but I did stream it to Facebook. So feel free to go check that out. I do contact the UN. I've done it before. It's a matter of private communication, and you can and do get results. But you can't do it in the premise that you got to end wars and quit all the lies and secrets. You got to do it only in the premise that it affects you and the other people around you. That's it. So I hope you pay attention to it. You can end the wars and the lies and secrets in your life. I do agree with that, Jack. But we'll never be able to end all wars and all secrets. With that,
not with that attitude. You're right.
I do love you, and I yield.
Much love, brother. Who's Echo? Nate, is that you now?
Yeah, I agree with Wizard on that. I think that the wars are exponentiated by the way they manipulate the money, and then they siphon off the energy of the people and collectively use that for economic hitmen and all these different. Oh, am I speaking out of key here? Sorry.
No,
apologize.
We were playing with Nate's mic. There is an echo with you, Nate, and that's where the interruption came from, Dick. He didn't realize I unmuted him and he was talking. Go ahead. Here. See if that worked.
Still there a little bit.
I'll check out. Come back, guys.
You may have to get headphones. That usually solves it. But...
I don't know. I interrupted your thought flow, though, Dick. I lost where we were at, and I don't mean to be so interruptive with the sound. I'm not don't mean to be nitpicky, but I do hope that comes through for everyone. Mike, give us a try, please.
Okay. How's it sound?
Better. Sounds great.
Much better. Thank you.
Yeah,
brother.
sometimes you gotta have a great reset.
Yeah. Then everything's smooth for a while until it all goes off the rails again, and then
Yeah.
we're right back in the same spot. Sounds like a cycle of life right there.
Everything is seasons. It has everything to do with seasons. Everything is cyclical, seasonal. There's a season for everything, it says in the Bible. The thing that we're trying to figure out right now, it's always prudent to try to figure out, is what is the season that we are in now. During any time of your life, you always want to know what's the season, so you know what to do. Is this a season to dance? Then we need to dance. Is it a season to plant flowers? We need to plant flowers. Or is this the harvest season? Is this time to gather?
Well, I think this is the time of the harvest, and it is time for us to gather our senses, to gather together so that we can find better ways for the future.
Yeah, because as far as like anything that, I mean, like for a little bit, everybody was calling me crazy. Nobody really calls me crazy anymore. We're talking about like the world, the way it is. Now they call me crazy because I tell them I'm Jesus Christ. But they don't call me crazy when I tell them that the world's going to shit. They just try to change the subject or tell me they don't want to talk about it, because the thing is, everybody is just running from the problem at all times. Is kick the can as far as they can down the road, and now they just got so used to kicking the can, they don't know how to do anything else but kick cans.
Hey, I'm not coming out saying I'm Jesus Christ, not in the slightest, but people treat me crazy because I believe that we can do his work.
Yeah.
I think we can follow his lead and bring peace to the world and share the truth and praise of God throughout future generations.
You know what? You know what's going to be the thing to say for the people who are believers? They're going to say they're Jesus Christ, but they're going to say it in a different way. They're going to say, "I'm Jesus Christ's hand," or "I'm
couldn't
Jesus
you
Christ."
say that Jesus was really the straw man?
Straw man?
I mean, Christ was the status, right? But Jesus was just the given name at birth, like a lot of us get. So if you
the
were
name Jesus was never used,
Christ,
actually.
it'd be like Mike Christ or Jack Christ or Wizard Christ or Keith Christ or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that straw man analogy too, tying it to today's reality. Go ahead, Wizard.
And I prefer to think that back in them times, they knew about the name much more than we do, and they insisted on calling each other brother and sister. Just my opinion.
Yeah. It's a good opinion too. I always try to call people by I don't like to call people by their names, because I feel like I'm talking down to them when I say, like I say, if I mean, like in here, I'll call by names, but like when you're, texting or anything like that, I say, "Hi, brother. Hi, sister." You know what I mean? I don't say like, "Hi, Jack Talbot." You know what I mean? It sounds a little bit informal. I like to be informal and loving and comfortable.
Well, what Dick just said, that was beautiful. The way you said that inspired some thoughts, layers of truth to the fact the story of Jesus was the straw man, right? Evolve it to today, we've got more layers of deception, but the straw man identity is the one that's registered, right? Registered to the state and to the banks. So we can sacrifice the registered straw man of us. And then that allows us to detach from the worldly concepts as much. And then we can sacrifice the worldly version of the man. So we got the straw man layer, the one that's documented on paper. Then we've got the imagined version of me, you know, the guy that carries all these names, alcoholic, soldier, whatever, all that crap. And then Dick, the Christed that's within.
And then we can sacrifice all the firstborn children. Whoa. That's not where you're going?
No,
Shit.
I think they've already been sacrificed, man. This society, we
I don't know.
sacrifice.
I always get rubbed wrong when I hear the word sacrifice when you threw that in there. But otherwise, I was rolling with you on it, Jack. Because I'm done sacrificing shit. Like, why do I need to play that game of atonement
about
to
surrender?
demigods and you know, jealous gods with egos that want wrathful indignation from generation to generation? And I'd rather
Dick.
not play their game.
Dick,
Are you a believer, Dick?
No, I'm not a believer.
Okay. So when did you sacrifice before that you're tired of it?
I'm just tired of the idea that sacrifice, making something else suffer for what I've done, is proper atonement, and that's how I take accountability, is by putting my failure onto something else instead of correcting myself and doing what I know is good, right, and true, and standing up as a man, taking accountability for it, owning it if I took the wrong path. You know, that's how others can learn from it. I can't just put it on someone else. I have to self-correct and actually have a walking testimony that someone could learn from. Otherwise, it's useless. What was the purpose behind it?
Hey, let me jump in here. I'd like to welcome the new guest. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Jack, how are you?
Doing
Cheers.
well, and it's great to
Good.
see you again.
Happy Easter.
You as well.
Thank you.
I want to offer a suggestion to consider. Rather than sacrifice is painful, but we can willingly surrender. You know, we can willingly surrender the straw man identity, give it away to those people who think it's important, which is the
Right.
state. And then for your egoic image of you, give away the mental image, surrender it to what could be true. And what could be true is the divinity, the perfection, the wholeness.
It is what's true.
I know. Thank you. Here, the point I wanted to get, though, is surrender. In this materialistic world, we're taught to fight, we're taught to survive. There is such a gift and so much value in surrender.
Absolutely.
At the right time, at the right place, for the right reasons. And God, peace, love, those are the right reasons to surrender.
The thing about the Bible is that it's such an amazing thing, because literally the being that created everything you see, everything you know to be true, or that as is real, everything that you believe is real, the Father in heaven created that. And he actually came through for us in a way that is unfathomable. Like, people don't really appreciate what the Father did for us because it requires work. And the reason why the mind initially wants to find a way around having to believe in a Father and worship and sacrifice yourself, or sacrifice something about yourself, or sacrifice something that you own, you know, these are not good things as far as the mind's concerned, because the mind is about gaining. And
yeah, belief is a crutch to knowing, though. It's a bridge. Like, it's not a place you stay in. It's not a status you want to embody It's how you come out of your depraved state, because you have to hope for something more. So when you're in that self-lack place of unknowingness, where you're just in complete ignorance, suffering from that lack of wisdom and knowledge, you reach out for something you don't know and can't even relate to because it's not in you, and you're hoping that that perspective will be imparted to you. And how do we see it? We see it in our brothers and sisters. We find hope often in somebody who brings us a message, like the Christ did. So do we carry that hope in us? Do we have a knowingness of that? Can we share that with others? Well, it's no longer a belief. You walk with that. Belief may have got you there, but you didn't stay there. The master came not to keep you a servant, but to make you a friend.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. You said you're not a believer, right?
That's what I was wondering, Dick.
I am that I am. Why would I put a limiting title and attach that to a child of the Most High or something that's connected to the divine? I don't know what the Most High is going to use me for next. There's I live in faith, of the truth, but people want to say,
and when it comes
are you a Christian? Well, that would be to follow Christ. Christ wasn't a Christian. Was Christ a believer?
He was a knower.
He told you
So
to believe.
do you identify with a knower more than a believer, Dick?
It's all just words of babble, man. They're all signposts. Either you're walking with it or you aren't. You either have it or you don't. It's either in you or it's not. And you either know or you don't. And nobody else's testimony or interpretation of what you know matters, because it's an intimate truth that you walk with day to day. So if you're doing that and you're serious about it, you don't give a shit what anybody else's definition or interpretation of it is. I know they're all traps. They want to hide me into some kind of doctrine of man, a 4,000 division of Abrahamic religion, where I pick some kind of fucking title and say I'm in this group, and it's a fucking joke. So not any of these words of babble. None of these words of babble matter. It's not.
But
not a believer.
Words matter. Basically, if I could explain. He's very conflicted, but he's handling it so well. I mean,
hey, are you a sinner or a saint?
They're conflicted. It looks really good, and we don't know what he believes. But the thing is, at least he's
a sinner or a saint.
Believing.
Are you a sinner or a saint?
I'm Jesus Christ.
So you're a straw man acting as a Christ.
Okay, so I want to talk about that. No, I'm not the straw man of Christ. Basically, I like the analogy though that you guys are putting forth, because this is where I see that the straw man of Christ is. The straw man of Christ is the image that the church and most believers have imagined Christ to be. Because the true Christ is written in the Bible, and you can know Christ's ways and how he was by reading the Bible. But I mean, if you don't know Christianity, you don't hear anything, and then somebody says, "Oh, Jesus," and you're like, "Yeah, Jesus is amazing. Oh, he healed a lot of people, dude. He was amazing. He was doing all kinds of supernatural things." When he comes here next time, you're going to know him, because he's going to be doing all these miraculous things that no one's ever done before. And so you'll know that's Jesus. That's pretty much how everybody pretty much thinks about Jesus Christ. But in the Bible, it says that Jesus said this, that a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and none will be given except the sign of Jonah. So he was telling everybody, him being I. It's weird when you're playing different lives. But telling you guys, this second coming, there wasn't going to be any signs, any wonders given. And he even says that you'll know the wicked one by the false prophets, because they'll be doing miraculous things, and they'll be calling fire down from heaven. Yeah, go ahead.
I just thought that was interesting. You're talking about the wicked generation will seek for a sign and find none, and there literally about a year ago was a man swallowed by a whale. I don't know if anybody.
No way.
You can look that up. There was a man swallowed by a whale.
I am going to look that up. That's the kind of stuff I love when people tell me.
Because there are signs. So I waited for a minute. I just want to, if I can have 2 minutes of you guys' time.
Oh, good.
Appreciate the time. Appreciate the platform. Appreciate you listening. I started to share some of the 217s last night. Like I said, there's a book in the Bible called Numbers. So the World Trade Centers fell in the order 217. The flood of the Bible. I know I'm just going to repeat this and then add to it. The flood of the Bible, month 2, 17th day. Strong's 217 is salt and flame. And if you heard anything that I spoke on last night with Michael Jordan and the false idol worship, his last game was in Salt Lake City.
No way!
Michael Jordan owns, well, so was Kobe's. Michael Jordan owns Charlotte. This guy's getting up. He's missing a good part here. Michael Jordan's last game was, he owns Charlotte, and what happened as Lot's wife, Lot, like Charlotte, turned back to look at Sodom and Gomorrah and was turned to a pillar of salt.
Say that again.
That Strong's 217, Strong's Concordance in the Hebrew, is salt or flame. And Jordan's last game was in Salt Lake City, and Jordan owns Charlotte. Charlotte, like a charred Lot, like Lot's wife, turned back and looked at Sodom and Gomorrah being charred and was turned into a pillar of salt. And Jordan's birthday is 2-17. What's the connection, Jack? I don't know. It's false.
I didn't get a chance to tell
it's a
you
sign
last
of the
time.
times. It's a sign of the times.
Before you
Michael Jordan is known for his all-mocking tongue. Michael, Prince of the Power, Michael Air Jordan. Michael, Prince of the Power of the Air Jordan, known for his all-mocking tongue. I know it's a bit much, but I see people in your chat saying Christ, Christos, Krishna. Is it that much more of a stretch to say the Bibles, the two gay bulls from Chicago, Mike and Barry, and Barry's last name is Toro, and Toro means bull? It's not that much of a stretch. The golden bull worship, which is my emblem on my channel, in Spanish, Toro is bull and oro is gold. And then you got Soros. I don't know. He's got something to do with some of this.
Listen.
So I could elaborate forever. I get it. It's a bit much for some people. Do I worship basketball? I can give a shit about basketball. Are they at the forefront of indoctrination? They definitely are. Like I said, people are getting shot in the streets over Tom Brady's shoes. There's no billionaire football athletes. It's about Jordans. He's a bull in a China shop making his money off the backs of slave labor in China. You'd have to hear the whole thing with an open mind some night, guys.
Why?
God bless you all.
Okay.
No, I want to help. I want to help.
Okay.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Okay. So listen, you are extremely talented at pattern recognition and very spiritual. The thing is, you don't know how to make heads or tails of what you're seeing, but you.
I do. I really do.
No, I'm not like fully. You just told us you know. It's,
well, let me correlate it then, because salt, the importance of salt in relations to water. Our bodies are 78% water.
Yeah.
And the importance of salt in that is that when you add salt to a body of water, it increases its electrical component.
And where's Jesus from? Jesus is from Galilee. What does Galilee mean? Oh, beyond.
We can bring up random facts for fucking hours.
No, this is important though.
Galilee means
beyond Jordan. I want to show you. I want to connect it, but I just need a chance.
Shoes. He puts his name on the people's soles of their
shoes. Shoes exist. Names exist. They connected. Holy shit.
No.
Holy shit. Everything is connected.
It is.
It is.
Okay, so what are we doing about it?
I don't. It sounds like at one point we were blaspheming Jesus and saying that he's a straw man and everything else.
Well, no, that's what you heard.
That's
right. What you heard, but you're obviously a mistaken man.
Well,
hey, Mike, if you want to try and make some sense, please.
I want to please. If I could just try to make some sense,
please. I don't see it.
Okay, so
Dick would understand if he heard last night. I can elaborate a lot better.
No, listen, calm down. I totally am with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to listen.
I'm
Go ahead and expound.
Yeah, please. So let me help you guys out. So this creation, this existence everything was spoken into existence. So it has to do with frequency. Frequency is very important. Now, that being said, when you think about it, what is music but mathematical equations. Numbers are crucial in math. Numbers are important. I have like 5 books on numerology.
Yeah, it's all sequences too, right? All comes out in different expressions.
Look at I'm about this. I'm about that life, dude. Look at this. I'm about that life. Numbers in the Bible.
Yep.
Book. Okay.
Can I share one real quick with Jack here? So as I was making, I had some other correlations. I'm not trying to upset Jack. I appreciate Jack, but we have Michael Jordan and Kobe, the 2 most worshipped players. Their first game on the Pope's birthday. Jordan is born 5,666 days before Kobe. Kobe means the supplanter, or one who takes the place of someone else, like a false idol or an antichrist. Kobe can translate to Jacob, which can translate to Jesus, meaning Kobe can translate to Jesus because he's a false idol or an antichrist. And when he died, everything kicked off. He died 126, like the 1,260 days of Revelation. We're coming up 1,260 days after January 1st, 2020. It's going to be Trump's birthday. Trump's birthday in 2020 was Flag Day. 14-6, and George Floyd happened the 146th day.
Right. So, sir, the blaspheming you were talking about, which Jesus are you referring to? Which version of this?
I'm talking about Jesus Christ of the Bible. Is that his actual? I didn't write the Bible, man. Is that his actual name? I don't know, but I refer to him as Jesus Christ, the Lord, the Most High. I think he died on our cross for our sins. Do I think that just gives me free ride to drink a half a gallon every 2 days like I do? No. Do I think I'm going to be judged for that? I do.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, you're not going to be judged.
Jesus may have been his name, but Christ was his status, right? So Christ wasn't his last name, right?
Jesus, and you love Jesus, so you're not. You're pretty much not going to be judged.
I struggle with that, so.
That's why you drink. Let me help you out. Can I talk, please?
I'm listening.
All right. Listen, I feel the turmoil that you have within you because I've been dealing with that same thing too. Because when you start talking about numbers and letters and frequencies and things that are the patterns that you can see and correlating them to the Bible, it's very hard because people cannot see the benefit in that.
They can't handle it. It's revelation. That's the point. There's no benefit.
Everybody has their own talents and they have their command of what they're gifted for. We are gifted for a certain thing that's very important that people cannot connect. I'm here to help connect if I may have the chance. So I don't know if you heard initially, Jack, but I was informing everybody that all of this existence.
I heard. No reason to. No need to repeat.
I couldn't see you because I didn't know if you're there. And so, let me connect it. Okay. We're in a sequence, if you can understand that.
Yeah, that's where you started last time.
Right.
Come on, man.
Hey,
take us
Mike,
somewhere with this.
I'm going to politely try to point out, Mike, you said something to Dick that I think kind of applies to you, that
oh, good. Yeah.
Trying to explain something that actually don't understand yourself. Okay?
No, it's just the thing is, that's why I was going to explain. I mean, can you guys not understand that this vibration?
Mike, yes. What I'd like to do, if I may.
It all expresses itself in some kind of magnetic or dielectric form, a toroidal hyperboloid, they're saying, these different interconnecting lines or converging lines at the plane of inertia where all the phenomenal presents itself. It's just an illusion of form, though. It's the building blocks of reality. It's all in a field which can't really be defined.
It's not illusion if it's the building blocks.
And it's a toroidal field, a toro, like a bull.
Toroidal hyperboloid.
Like the golden bull of the Turin of Italy has the golden bull on its flag and its coat of arms, and so does the city of Charlotte and Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg, and so does Mecklenburg, Germany. That's the point I'm making. So, last thing here, Kobe.
Everything's connected, though. We all agree on that, right? And so we see it in the Bible, too, that there's all these different revealings and different ways to run algorithms on the info and get different results. So it is a trip. I mean, and it's deeper than just the good book. It's all the sacred text. There's all kinds of hidden messages in those texts.
My whole point is that it's revelation, and here we are. We're living it out in the last days.
Right.
Sorry,
Right. So
don't shoot the
we can
messenger, Jack.
drop-
Thanks for
drop-
having me on.
Okay, if your role is simply to go and deliver messages and regurgitate things and patterns you've
not
identified,
regurgitating.
then please continue on with your path.
Okay,
My focus,
it's not regurgitating. It's my own
okay,
research.
define it how you want. I received
Well, don't downplay
what
it.
you offered.
Don't downplay it. I put a lot of research into this. It's
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's what I
you
was trying to
did,
say.
but you've offered no relevance other than the claim, hey, it's revelation. No shit, Sherlock.
okay. I
That's
can
what
leave
I've been
subscribers
saying
to this
too.
that I've gained from your channel. Fuck off, Jack. You offer nothing. Peace out, guys. You don't
Much
understand it. You're a pussy, and cowards go first in the lake of fire. So peace out, bro.
As you wish. If I may, what I was trying to add to the conversation, and here, while I appreciate that, actually, you know what? Before I bring it to me, Paul, you've been patient. Welcome, brother.
How
If
are
you've
you,
got
Jack?
if you've got anything you want to jump in, please feel
No,
free.
I just got in halfway, Jack, and I'm just kind of listening.
Fair enough. If I may, then, while I appreciate Mr. Smith coming up and sharing the pattern recognition, and Mike, you were very encouraging and trying to help. I appreciate that. But what I wish to God people might consider is I actually do come on this not to share nonsense. And what did Smith say? I'm doing a bunch of bullshit online, something like that. Real disrespectful. I actually do have value to offer regarding these concepts. And all I was asking Mr. Smith to do is please provide some sort of relevance.
He can't.
We can spend our entire lives describing.
Nice. Good job, the Bulls. Yeah.
We can spend our entire lives analyzing and arguing over what was or what we think is. We can spend our lives planning and thinking, or we can make the most out of our lives together.
Right. If I may. All right. So what 6079 was having an issue with is he has this extremely amazing talent for pattern recognition.
I did ask. Sorry.
But he doesn't know how to get the relevance from it. It's just he's really good at seeing these patterns and connecting them in ways that nobody like us could ever connect, but they do connect.
Yep.
And he's tied to the Bible, but then at the same time he's kind of blaspheming the Bible by kind of calling the Bible gay with the Bible thing, and like he's not really got any center to or any anchor in the whole thing. And I was gonna try and help him with that, but because he due to when because I'm just like him, when we share this knowledge, we're often initially quickly cast aside as irrelevant or nonsensical. And so he's built through that those encounters that he's had a hard shell to where he's really reactive now. Like if people don't accept it as like the most amazing thing, then he reels back into the shell.
Hey, Mike, unless he's willing to receive correction, we can move on. We don't have to talk about people, right?
Well, the reason why I was saying such is because it's everything that I'm going through. That's how I know.
Fair enough. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
Mike, admittedly, I can relate, but what I know helps communicate is when you can provide relevance between what you're saying and the people you're saying it to.
Yeah,
Now,
it's like if I
did try and ask for relevance. I think you were trying to get him there, and the people in the chat are saying I didn't. But you know what, Mr. Smith, or whatever it is, you're welcome to come back. But this,
Please
you
come back.
received a couple of minutes, non-interrupted. You were allowed to flow. Then you were respectfully asked. I mean, people, hey, you know what? Here's where I'm at. He's probably, like you said, a gifted man, identifies the patterns. Maybe even God is using him to reveal the truth to many others. But God brought us all together.
God is using him, and in a beautiful
All
way.
of us.
Yeah, he's using every one of us, every single buddy, everybody he's using. But the thing is, the thing that we have to all understand is that our minds need to be always open to the possibility of things that we have never known. As soon as we start shutting doors, we shut doors to opportunities that we may have benefited from. But the whole issue is this, you know, you can't go believe in everything that everybody believes, because I mean, how in the heck are you going to have any foundational stature, any square to stand on? You're standing on all these different squares. You have to have a square to stand on if you want to stand properly.
Well, okay, so let's bring this into action. So we can keep saying what we need to do, but what are we going to do?
Okay, so this is the reason why I've let everybody know that I'm Jesus Christ. Because I'm who you guys have been waiting for. I try not to tarry. But
Not true.
I'm sorry?
You said you're who we've been waiting for? Not true.
Did you say you were Jesus Christ?
Actually, if
Yeah,
you're going to
these are
make that
lies.
conclusion, hold on. If you're going to give that conclusion, let's give the foundation so we can better understand, because I kind of agree with Dick that we've been waiting for ourselves.
Okay, what I mean by that is this.
Me and Wiz head bobbing over here. It's like, not waiting for no man to come solve my fucking
Know
problems.
thyself. I ain't looking for anybody else that says know thyself. When it says know thyself, we also remember you're not supposed to listen to the messenger, but the message. So in following Jesus Christ, we follow Christ, but we follow Christ because of the message, the moral implications. I yield.
Okay, I'm glad that you said that, because here's the issue. Okay, in the Bible, Jesus says that thou should worship in spirit and in truth. What that means is, what Wizard's talking about is worshiping in spirit, and that's important. That's crucial. But what is equally crucial is worshiping in truth. And what does that mean? Does that mean just believing in the truth? No, that is spiritual. Worshiping in truth means when he comes back, which he said he would, that you're gonna have to listen to him if you guys want everything to go good.
Okay.
Of course, everybody has free will, and we don't encourage everybody to have free will.
Well, let's get the relevance to the term worship then, because worship in its relevance is exactly what I'm talking about when I speak to Jack and doing what he speaks about. That is worship. Worship, according to Strong's, which I'm sure our brother Smith or whatever will agree, it means literally to do. To
do. Okay. Well, I'm not saying everybody, nothing gets done if everybody just has their hands in the air and waving them from here to there. You know what I mean? Worship,
Things get done by doing.
Exactly. It's in
But
doing.
at the same time, while he's talking about being Jesus Christ, I also want to remind everybody that if he wants to be Jesus Christ, then he limits himself, because at the same time, Jesus said, "Ye shall do greater things than I." I yield.
Oh, only happy that you said that. That is exactly what I've been trying to tell everybody. You see, when I say that I'm Jesus Christ, everybody quickly analyzes me. They see a son of a bitch, and they just assume, okay, this son of a bitch is not going to fool me into thinking that he's Jesus Christ. Because look at him. He's a man. Well, he's got tattoos. Jesus was poor. He's got little fucking jewelry. We don't know how much money he has.
We know the reasons why you're not. Can you present some reasons why you are?
Oh,
Mike, you're
okay.
onto something though. I got a sneaky suspicion about you. You're mining for nuggets of gold there, and I think you're finding something.
It's kind of like Paul coming out the way he does. It's kind of like
Mhm.
when I was getting on Jack about claiming he was Jesus. Remember? That's a
Yeah.
trigger. And he's wanting to trigger people with that. He's getting
No.
responses. Yes, that's the only reason you would want to be called by a name. Otherwise, I am called by thy name. I am his. You don't have to call me. I'm already your servant. I yield.
Precisely.
Please.
That's
please
the
continue.
thing. Okay, I have billions of servants, yet I wake up and no one is here helping me. That is people.
That's Talcottian theory 101 right there. No one's probably listened to you ever before either, right?
This is very rare that I have a chance to speak, because as soon as I tell people that I'm Jesus Christ, most people check out. They
Wow.
check
Yeah,
out.
man, it sounds pretty
All
crazy
right.
when you initially take it in.
Yeah.
I'm Jesus
don't
Christ. I mean,
say.
that's a huge statement to say to somebody or a group of people, really.
Son of a gun.
And let me tell you something, okay? I literally am suffering because I'm pretty much tasked with this huge task that I wasn't born. See, the last time I was born with the Virgin Mary, I guess. The angel Gabriel came and told my parents that I was gonna be a king. This time, I come a king again, but no angel told my parents that I was gonna be special. And so they didn't understand me growing up, and I suffered a lot of abuse. And then went on my own path, and then later in life, when it was time, my father showed me. I want to elaborate on that, because I mean, it's one thing to say. You can't get anybody to believe in you. Just say that Jesus Christ. You shouldn't expect anybody to believe in you unless the Holy Spirit's motivating them anyways to believe. But if given a chance, I would like to plant a seed, of foundational seed, that will help you to understand why I would even say such a thing. Because anybody who says such a thing most likely is going to be blaspheming, as I did say in the Bible, that many will come in my name, and what you should do to them is not believe them. Didn't say anything to do anything more.
How are you not? You're Mike. I love
I'm asking
you,
this for a
brother.
shot. Remember, you said you were going to let me shoot my shot.
All right. Did I interrupt too soon? Is there something convincing
Because
coming?
the thing is, this is what literally I have to deal with this all the time. I'm glad we're speaking to it right now. I only like to speak to the problem.
That's my shot. That's my shot. That's my shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I say I'm Jesus Christ, I get put on a timer. Now I got to prove that I'm Jesus Christ within like 5 seconds. Otherwise, you guys are done with it, because that's what everybody's wanting. You know, they want Jesus Christ to come out, say he's Jesus Christ, and then open his hands and fireworks start coming out of the fireworks.
Well, once you get past that 5 seconds and you actually have an opportunity, which is being offered to you now, what is presented to convince? And I'm a man of hope, and I'm a man of faith. My mind is open to anything that's possible.
I am so happy. I know you are. So, do you know that Jesus is Venus?
That Jesus is Venus, you said?
Or has something to do with Venus?
That there's connections to all the astrology, right? I mean,
there's connections to
interconnected
everything.
Throughout
I didn't ask that.
Well, it's the delusion between matriarch and patriarch.
Tell you what, obviously, Mike, you have a connection that you believe between Jesus and Venus. If that's something connected to here, please present the case. I mean,
okay, here's the way my proof works. Okay, I have proof. Nice. But the thing about it is because anybody should have proof if they're saying that Jesus Christ. Right. If I just say this thing told me, and now you got to believe me. Why? What do you have to hold on to? There's no reason to believe anybody that just tells you that they're Jesus Christ. I don't care how they look.
Right. So that's where we're at, and you made the claim.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to say this. Okay, to bring back, we talked about it earlier. That I said when I was coming back that no sign will be given it except for the sign of Jonah. The sign of Jonah has been happening for since I've been beginning this time doing this. It's Jupiter and Pisces.
Right.
Jupiter is in Pisces right now. You can Google and find that out. Venus and Jupiter could say, okay. The celestial.
It's all coming together now. I'm starting to see it clearly.
Thank you. The
Venus
celestial.
and Jupiter. Yep.
Yes. The celestial. See, the problem with everybody, like the Christians, everybody, they wanted the Bible just to be the Bible. They didn't want to be able to connect.
We're just here.
But
let's focus
at
on
least
here.
now we've uncontrovertibly corroborated that Jesus is Venus. So now that we've established that as a solid foundation, no one could dispute that. Let's move forward.
We haven't yet.
Oh, I thought that was uncontrovertible, corroboratable proof right there.
I didn't mean to interrupt again, but Mike, here, let me ask this.
I'm about to play something right now for you, so you can hear it. Just listen to
If
this.
you are Jesus today,
and the planet Venus have in common? Now that may sound like a weird.
Yeah, good.
If you are Jesus today, what does that mean for us who are sitting
Okay,
here?
yeah. Fast forward. Before I prove anything, let me just give you guys an overview why that matters to anybody.
Please.
Thank you. See, the whole thing is and let me digress sometimes because there's a reason for my explaining. Okay. There's so many jobs that I have to fulfill and I have nobody to help me. And so organizing my thoughts sometimes is difficult when put the pressure because I can go in so many different directions with this. I try to meet everybody where they're at. And in order to do that, I try to, evaluate what would be probably more prudent. But the problem with me is because everybody has treated my proofs very poorly because they seem just to be coincidences, possibly.
Hey,
and the whole thing is this. If you roll a dice, I want to get to the proofs. So give me a second, okay? It's not an easy thing. It has never been done ever before.
Mike, hold on. Here's where my thought was with this interruption. Okay, because
Please help me out. Yeah, if you want to add something, yeah.
Well, let me offer this based on what you just said. Rather than put you on the spot and try and explain this uncomfortably in front of everyone.
I absolutely only like this. I only want to do this.
All right. I was gonna offer the opportunity. Let's you and I spend an hour, get your thoughts together, and we'll come back and do it clearly later. But whatever you want.
Let's just try a little bit and see how.
All right.
He's trying to take his shot, Jack. He wants to
make
his pitch and
amen.
And I want the space out.
I want the space for it to be comfortable. So please.
And you guys want to see the rubber where the rubber hits the road, and I'm trying to get there, but there's this. I have to give all these caveats in order to help. This whole thing builds on itself. So, the reason why I brought up Jesus and Venus is this. Not too many people know that Jesus is associated with Venus. I was going to come out with a little did you know thing. And so when I open your mind to Jesus being connected to Venus, I can go from there. And so let me just play this.
Oh. I was going to offer the connection I can see between Jesus and Venus. Venus is in the mythology is often connected to love, as is the symbol of Jesus. Is that kind of where you're going? Along the right way? Go ahead. I'm sorry. That was a thought I had.
Yeah, no, I love all you guys' thoughts and everything like that. I just don't want you guys to think that I'm not able to do this because of your guys' interjections in the middle of but I need you guys to interject because I want you guys all to be a part of this. Well, let me try. Let me show you. I know I can do it, but the thing is, you guys have to understand with everybody.
How long do you think it'll take? Just curious, so I know what I'm getting into here. Is this like an hour dissertation?
That is a good question.
Most of the evening.
Let me tell you something, okay? I was written into the very fabric of this existence. I can prove that I'm Jesus till next year. The thing is, what will it? How much information do I need to provide to convince you? It's going to take substantial, because what the position of Jesus is the highest name that has ever been named. And so in order to have
I mean, I'll be honest, Mike, you drive a hard bargain. I'm not easy to convince. You've made a
that's
really
why I love you.
good presentation
That's why you're important
here.
to be here.
Signed, sealed, delivered, man. I think I'm on board. I got to check a few things, the decision
Check a
maker.
few. That's what I want to see. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Check a few things. Okay. So
Gotta dot all my I's and cross all my T's on this first, but keep going.
Yes. Okay. So all I'm asking for is just a chance. Let me show you. So I'm starting with Jesus is Venus. I want to show you a little known fact, and then you'll listen to this, because the whole thing is this: me being 100% human and 100% God. This 100% human body only has the capacity of so much brain power. That's why I said even better things you will do. That's why he says, I'm cutting myself short by saying that I'm Jesus. Yes, because Jesus is not all the bee's knees. You guys are so special. I want you guys to be better than me. And it's possible. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said this shit. Okay, ready to go.
Pop quiz. What do Jesus and the planet Venus have in common? Now, that may sound like a weird question, but if you know the Bible and a little astronomy, it isn't weird at all. When you go to the very last book of the Bible, the very last chapter of the Bible, listen to the very last image Jesus gives of himself. He says, I am the root and descendant of David, the bright morning star. In ancient times, and still today, it's common to call the planet Venus the morning star. For about 263 days of the year, Venus can be seen in the early morning, rising before the sun in the eastern sky. For that time period, it's called the morning star. Furthermore, Venus is incredibly bright. Notice how Jesus calls himself the bright morning star. Venus is the third brightest object in the whole sky. Only the sun and the moon are brighter. Venus far outshines every star in the sky. Why would this be the very last image Jesus wants to plant in our minds about him? The reason is because when ancient people saw Venus rising in the early morning, they knew sunrise wasn't far behind. Sometimes Venus will rise hours before sunrise, sometimes less than an hour or even minutes before sunrise. The morning star of Venus is an image of hope. Soon the dawn will come. When Jesus came to earth the first time, he announced that the kingdom of God had come. Jesus didn't come at that time to make the whole world right again. That will come later when Jesus returns the second time. But when Jesus came the first time, he gave us a taste of what that new world will look like. A world full of kindness and justice. A world where sicknesses are healed, the blind can see, the dead are raised to life again, and sins are forgiven. What Jesus is saying is that today we are living in the twilight of the kingdom of God. Jesus' coming the first time was an anticipation of the completion of God's big...
Okay. So here we go. We got to make it relevant, because what the heck? What are we going to do with Jesus, knowing Jesus is Venus, and how does that help solve any of our problems?
That was rock solid. I would argue if I could, but there's nothing there to dispute. It's incontrovertible, right, Jack? You're on mute, buddy. I mean, the Venus is in the sky and it is bright, and the morning star, Bible says it's bright. It's all checks out as far as I can tell.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Let me explain something, okay? So I'm glad you guys are playing along. So here, what one does posture themselves to do when one makes an extreme claim is they posture themselves to say, okay, now you must prove all to me, otherwise I can scoff at whatever. And everybody has the right to do whatever because they have free will. All I'm saying is this: in order to fully understand everything that I'm going to disclose, you're going to have to do your own research. The whole thing is just a testimony. You have to correlate. You have to check what I'm saying and see if it checks out. Now, let me just explain why it's relevant. Okay, here's the thing: we live in Babylon. Babylon is about to fall. We got the Great Reset. That is just the elite's way of saying when Michael stands up, everything's going to go to shit. God's going to reset everything with this great tribulation. The great tribulation is the second half of tribulation. That is where, when you're in the great tribulation, you know you're in the great tribulation because they're going to be asking for you to take the mark of the beast. This whole thing isn't hokey pokey, like spiritual or just astrotheological.
Hey, Mike, I've been patient.
Oh, please, thank you for being patient.
I've been waiting for relevance. Okay, similar to my wait. No, you keep saying it's coming, but let me get to the point of where I'm going with this first. Okay, the same criticism I had for Mr. Smith or whatever the name was with the numbers, I asked for relevance. Now, you claimed that you were going to help him with the relevance, and I never saw the relevance for him.
He was talking over me.
Now, then when we go and give you time to present the case that you are, as you claim, Jesus Christ, you've presented a lot of information, but very, very little relevance. So let's assume, hold on, here's where I want you to consider as well.
Okay.
I'm on this stream and building the platform and doing these things for my purpose that God has inspired me to try and pursue, which is to share the truth of God's love, to share the praise of the Father, and to try and end wars and oppression. Okay,
I see you doing that.
So the way I saw it is that a man named Jesus wasn't here doing it, but supposedly the Christ is within me and it's within us. So I thought, hey, let's try and make it happen for the image, for the love of God and Jesus. Now, we've spent a lot of time tonight. We've spent a lot of time tonight recently listening to you present the case of why you are Jesus, and I still, for the life of me, have no clue what that would mean to you, to me, even if it was true. If you are Jesus Christ returned and God bless it, brought you to us today, what is the Father gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Okay, I would only like.
Plus, we all know Jack is Jesus. Come on now.
Yeah, really quick question.
He is a member of the body.
Quick question. Just a really quick one. So is Jesus God?
Yes.
No.
But he is not the Father. But he is the Father, because if you've seen him, you've seen the Father.
So are you a believer?
I am Jesus Christ. I am.
But are you a believer?
Yes, I'm a believer. Yes, I believe everything.
Are you a Christian?
That has to do with the Bible. You say what?
Are you a Christian?
No, I don't subscribe to any denomination because those are kind of demon nations. What I do subscribe to is Tribe Ministry, which I created, and nobody's a part of yet. There you go. Yeah. You guys can be the first member.
I mean, I was just trying to see if you have ego in your Christ complex, or if you're just acknowledging that you have the Spirit in you, which sometimes when people see that, they'll realize they're connected to the all and mistake that to think that they're identified with the character or the idol of the Christ, which is really just kind of a plastic Jesus thing the church sold you to give you some idea of a doctrine or a dogma. So you walk with the Spirit, you have the Spirit in you, and that's a beautiful thing. And
okay, thank you. But the thing is this, okay? I have a little bit of time to show the relevance. The relevance is key. I do apologize. I give these excuses. Don't see them as weaknesses or reasons, but I have to explain because I am all about the truth and I am transparent. I tell you, this has not been easy for me as far as like sharing this, because when I was really motivated to do it, nobody cared.
Keep on point.
Have you ever lied, Mike?
Okay, so here we go. Let's go. Listen to me.
Have you ever stolen?
This is why I have a hard time truly believing in a God, is because people like Mike come in here and the way that he talks. I'm not saying that he's crazy, but that's how I'm interpreting it. My opinion.
I come across
So,
crazy. I know.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
no
No,
idea
please
what
do
Mike's
not take
talking
it as
about.
disrespect. Do not take that as disrespect, please. I'm just, it confuses me that much more to learn to try to find faith in God, which, you know, a lot of people here have. I don't have that faith. So seeing someone like you is continuous. I've seen it over the past.
Well, don't look for it outside of yourself, DD. Look for it inside of you, just to.
Oh no, I get it. Trust me, I'm an honorable
You-
person. I'm a good person. I just
And
haven't
I love
found
you guys,
religion
and
to
I
benefit
totally
me
see
to
that you guys
make me better.
Looking
I
outside of
haven't-
yourself, or it's a surefire way to get taken further outside and under someone's belief structure, right?
I'm glad that you guys have that skeptical trait, because it's crucial in this world of where you have to have a discerning spirit. You have to be able to discern what is legit. You don't want to be going after some Heaven's Gate, drink the Kool-Aid.
Hey, Mike,
and
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I was getting
I'm
to the
not sure-
relevance.
Was there a point? Because I wanted to actually discuss. I thought that was a beautiful topic to discuss. Is
I just
faith.
want a chance to say the relevance, and then we can go on to whatever.
Please.
Yeah, we don't have to prove that I'm Jesus. I'm not here to take over this channel. I see opportunity. The relevance is this: you have to know that there would be somebody named that would come, and his name would be Shiloh. That's Genesis 49:10. He's going to take the scepter from Judah. What does that mean? How does if Jesus was Judah? Who's taking the scepter from Jesus when Jesus is ruling forever? I'll tell you who. Jesus. In order to understand fully what I'm talking about, you have to read Genesis 49:10 through 14.
So basically, you're also full of yourself, just like Jack is. Jesus is taking the scepter from Jesus. You're doing your own dirty work, and you're cleaning up the mess.
And how I take the scepter from Judah is this. I was a Negro. The African Americans who aren't African or American, they were actually sold into slavery by their African brothers and sisters. And the only reason why they went into slavery is because I put them into slavery, because they violated the covenant.
That's just your white guilt.
Kind of like the relevance is that there is no relevance, sort of thing, you know?
Here he goes. Give me a second. You guys don't understand how hard it is to do this, but I'm glad that you guys are challenging me. I'm glad that I have this pressure, but I just asked for an opportunity to share, because when I get pressured, I start to stutter. I start to try and, because I really want to do this.
You should explain this when you're not in a room on a stream with an audience. Would be my suggestion.
Record it
Genesis
and then listen
15,
back
13.
to it. Record it and then listen back to it, because then you can refine your pitch and figure out where your weak points are and see how you want to do your presentation in a more compelling way, because you're not getting the greatest response here. I mean, people are kind of jabbing you. At least I am. I can't
No,
speak
you guys
for
are doing
anybody
amazing.
else.
You guys aren't really being that bad to me.
But no, we love you, man. Everybody,
Yeah.
it's all love.
Hey,
But it's,
so
you are taking a lot of attention too, though, with your.
Yeah.
With your
I
whole,
know, and the whole benefit is because I love you guys. You see, the whole reason why Jesus would ever want to tell you that he's Jesus is because he is more than just saving your souls. He's here to save you from the great tribulation.
All right. Hey,
You
Mike.
need to know the time.
Mike, okay. Do you have the time?
Yes.
The time is now, right?
Listen to me one about
So,
everything and nothing.
I was alluding to it yesterday. The time starts in 1619. My people were told that they were, by me, that they would be in slavery for a period of 400 years. They have been in slavery for 400 years. You add 400 years to 1619, you get 2019. It says in Genesis 15:13 as well that after that God will judge that nation. So
okay,
in 2020,
Mike, hey, you know what?
That's the beginning of the tribulation.
Mike, I'm going to stop it here. You're repeating stuff you said before, and what Dick was offering you was very polite, and I'm going to encourage you to take me up on my offer. Let's you and I talk.
I will take you up on your offer.
So we can find better use of our time together today. Okay.
I would love that.
All right. So if we can change what DD 214, he had, not to jump into a vulnerability, but he shared that faith is something that is, maybe it's a gift not yet received completely. It's something that's still not fully understood. I went
We need
through
to
that
get you
a lot.
saved, DD214, by the blood of Jesus today. What are we going to do to close the deal on you? We got to figure out.
Hallelujah.
What are you the
Tell it
decision
to
maker
me.
today, DD? Am I talking to the final
Convince me
decision
that
maker?
believing makes me better.
Are you
Can I
telling me
offer-
you don't believe the Pope's unum sanctum, where he claimed the lives of all souls of all men? You don't believe that's a saving grace? Come on now. You must
Hey man,
be
if it's
believers.
positive, it's good, then I'm all for it. But
I just
can't
want to know
believe
how
that-
1 can equal 3. The Trinity has never made sense to me or anybody else who claims it does.
That's
It's only
because the
one.
real Trinity is Father, Mother, and Child.
So does anyone have any interest in hearing what I've learned about faith or not?
Absolutely. Come on.
Yes, Jack, if
No.
it's you.
Why wouldn't we?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm asking this question because of the patterns of my life.
It's your channel.
I keep offering to talk about things, and I sit here listening to people talk about it. And so faith is something that, by the grace of God, I stopped denying it from myself. If you're lacking faith, it's up to you to accept responsibility for that. What would cause you to not trust, not have faith in what you know? It's our minds playing tricks on us. That's all it really is. And we've been taught, we've been taught and conditioned not to have faith, to not trust,
Absolutely.
to withhold our love. And that's where we get punished. We punish ourselves with a lack of love and support because we choose to distrust people based on our minds instead of the facts.
What it is a state of hyper skepticalness. You become hyper skeptical. There's a healthy skepticism, and there's just not believing anything, because that's the nihilists. Nihilists are hyper skeptical. They don't believe in anything. They're just kind of like, they see, but they don't really believe anything anybody says
I'm
about
skeptical.
anything.
Yeah, I hear you.
Extremely skeptical. Everyone that I ever meet that has a faith in God, faith in a higher power, they seem to be they wrong people a lot more than from, I guess, someone like me who doesn't
that
believe
to me
in
is healthy,
a higher power.
because that means if you come to a consensus on something and you go a certain direction, it's likely because you have something substantial to stand on, a foundation, something you know in your heart, is true. So you're not just taking anything that's fed to you. You're not just taking the first religion that they throw at you, what you were born into. You're saying, I'm going to use my critical thinking, and if I don't know, I'm not going to sit there and try to make a conclusion that I haven't come to.
Yeah.
Bingo. Well said, buddy.
But there's also this thing called a strong delusion. And in the Bible, it said that for some unbelievers, they will be given to a strong delusion. And that's where actually I can tie in the whole numbers and Michael Jordan is this and the salt pillars and all this stuff. Okay, because we do live in a matrix, and these patterns are replete throughout this existence. One can come to the conclusion that it's just one of those guys. It's just this. It's just that. Without giving them opportunity to understand the transcendental realities of the ethereal foreverness that is
Mike, you
available.
need to put more sprinkles on
I
my
have a
cupcake when
question.
you deliver this shit, man. I
have a
need more
quick
frosting,
question.
bro. I'm trying to
I have
a
stay
quick question.
engaged, but what's up, John?
So the question is for Jesus. So
Yeah.
Jesus, are you the Son of God or are you the prophet?
I am the literal Jesus. They don't want me to prove it. I'll tell you. Listen, go on my Facebook. Let me add it.
No.
let me tell you
I'm
my
asking you. I'm asking you. Like, were you in your past life? Sorry, let me rephrase the question. In your
Yeah, go ahead.
past life, were you the Son of God or were you the prophet of God?
A son of man, child
Son
of
of
God,
man.
the only begotten.
Would you call yourself a messenger of God?
I am Michael the Archangel. Michael the Archangel is Jesus Christ, by the way. And
Very Jehovah's Witness of you today, Michelangelo.
Are you a Nephilim?
I am a seraphim. Okay.
What do
I
you
can
think
go-
about
we
the
can
Muslim
talk about
belief
this,
that
I
you're
have
a
no
prophet of
idea what you
God?
guys are talking about with serpents and shit. What are you guys talking about?
Okay. So there are angels called cherubim, seraphim, ophalim. I can't remember.
Are you also Lucifer?
I am not Lucifer.
Oh, so you differentiate between yourself and Lucifer, but you are Archangel Michael and you are Jesus Christ. Are you any other archetypes or labels that we could ascribe to you to put you in a box and form you up in some kind of image in our mind of a false idol that we could possibly worship if
I
we
would only
wanted
like to help you with that.
That would help.
Are you
I'm also Quetzalcoatl, the Mexican god of wind.
So I'm still trying to
That's
understand.
convenient.
All of these things are true. Everything you're claiming, everything you're saying is true.
It's 100% true, but the thing is,
Okay,
I'm
so
rarely
if it's
given.
validated, what does that do?
Okay, so given another opportunity, I will take it. So basically, it has to do with time. The tribulation is 7 years. Started in 2020 after the 400 years. You got to divide it in half. The first half of tribulation is a cakewalk compared to the Great Tribulation. The Great Tribulation is what they've been trying to prepare you to understand is the Great Reset. Basically, when Michael stands up, Michael is the archangel. He is in Daniel 12:1 saying, not saying, but it talks about Michael doing this. It says, at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince that stands watch over the sons and daughters of your people. And at that time, it'll be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even into that time. And at that time, your people would be delivered. All of those are found written into the Lamb's book of life. Some will, there would be rising. I can't remember everything right now. I'm trying to do this all fast, but people are going to rise from the dead. The righteous will shine like the stars forever, like the stars, the brightness of the firmament forever and ever. You want to be that. Jack, you're on the right course. Listen, anybody can say anything to me. It's allowed. You can say anything to the Son. It can be forgiven. It's up to me to forgive. I am only wanting to forgive.
What are you going to do, Mike? What is your purpose if you're Jesus Christ and it's confirmed? What are you here to do?
So it has to do with
Can I just help maybe give him a little, because just,
please.
Pulling a la carte options from the good book, I'm thinking, are you here for the prospect of setting up the millennial reign, or are you here to take back the likes of Jack to golden streets and mansions? What are we doing first here?
Listen.
Can you make this car be done?
I just want to know if you're pre-trib
Carby,
or
what does that mean?
Post-trib. Like, what are we?
It's mid-trib. Okay, so let me help you out. You got to read Revelation 12. That's what we're about to step into. Okay, in Revelation 12, it says because everybody was waiting for Jesus Christ to come on the clouds, and then there's this rapture as post-trib.
Yeah, so you're not going to come. You're not going to come in the clouds anymore. So I can't.
No.
That was a misinterpretation.
Still coming in the clouds.
You still are. Okay.
Right. You're in
That's
the clouds right now in the realm of virtual internet. We are in the clouds. So let's
and there's lots of cum in the clouds.
Well, I don't think he's saying it's an allegory, Jack. It's not some kind of fairy tale. He's saying he's literally going to come through the clouds as a physical being.
So let me explain.
Going to go down. So look for it.
All right.
So let me explain. I mean, it does say in the Bible that you gotta look for the Son of Man in the sky, and then everybody's gonna mourn. Why does everybody mourn? Because I guess, son of a bitch, no one ever fucking took me seriously. So that's why everybody's gonna mourn. But here's the thing, okay? You guys are being awesome with me. I love you guys. Let me explain. In Revelation 12, the man-child is born to the woman. The woman flees from the dragon into the wilderness for a period of 42 months, which is 3.5 years, because that 42 number is important. 3.5 years, that is the time of the Great Tribulation. Because the thing is, anybody who does any little bit of research will find out the Great Tribulation is the second half of the tribulation. Tribulation is 7 years. You divide 7 by 2, you get 3.5. Tribulation started in 2020. So you add 3.5 to 2020, you get 2023.
So that 3.5, I got 3.5 grams of this, baby. 3.5.
That's a ball.
Jesus approved. Let me tell you, Jesus smokes weed.
This shit's expensive.
Everybody knew he would. I can confirm it.
It's not weed he's offering you.
That's a gift from God.
Anyways.
He loves us.
Anyways, so the relevance is this.
With at least you're explaining the relevance. I appreciate you explaining the relevance.
And I appreciate you
listening. It's going somewhere. I can feel it. It's really it's starting to take form. Everybody feels like we're getting traction now, and you're going to bring this home to some kind of just
is Dick coming in the clouds?
Grand finale conclusion of just fireworks, epic proportions. Stimulating. So, a package. Be like our government, Jesus. Give us a package and a nice, big, stimulating one.
Okay.
And a free phone.
So, what happens is the man-child.
Can we make requests at the end? You know, like requests?
Yeah,
just
like
things we might want and shit. You know.
Yeah, that's like praying. Can you give us
here's
stuff?
The thing about the end, okay? Yes, the end sucks. Nobody wants the end. That's what we were talking about earlier. The mind tries to make us
literal end. I thought there was no beginning from the end. The Most High was and always will be. There is no end from the beginning. It's the Almighty, inherent, infallible, and ever expanding or ever present.
All right, Paul enslaved.
We
have a Paul enslaved here. Listen. You can think anything else. If you don't allow me to speak, then we're just arguing and nobody can gain anything from that.
You've been allowed to
I
speak,
apologize,
right?
everybody. I apologize, everybody. I'm sure I was
polluting
the vision here.
It happens.
I'll offer
take a break?
They crucified Jesus too, so you know.
Yeah.
Here, I'm trying to figure out how best this might play out. Okay. So Mike, what if you are the return of Jesus here to serve man, and the path of the divine of the Father brought us together? And so what if maybe you're here to help me make my dreams come true, to be one who brings peace to the world?
I'm not here just to make your dreams come true. I'm here to make everybody's dreams come true.
Well, this is what I've been trying to point out. I actually believe the goals that I'm trying to achieve of ending legal secrets, ending wars and slavery, I actually think that would be fulfillment of prophecy and would bring us into
Jesus
the new
if you're not
beginning.
here to make you can't be Jesus if you're not here to make Jack's dreams come true. Because that's the millennial reign is 1,000 years of peace. We can't have wars and.
I mean, I want to run as an independent third party Jesus.
An independent what?
I would like to throw my hat in the ring as a potential Jesus, and I will give Jack all of his dreams.
I guess I'm going
to have to take a little bit of dream. I'm going to have to take a little bit of dream from each of the rest of you, so that we can give Jack all of his dream.
Wow.
That's why I said. That's why I said I'm here to make everybody's dreams come true.
I don't.
I was
want
biting down until I heard that. So, I don't know where to go from here.
Well, that's how
Okay, let me
taxes
help
work.
you. I'll tell you where to go.
And
Okay.
Jack, if the dream is that everybody love each other, I'm with it. I'm with you, brother.
What kind of love? Might not be with it.
Hi,
That
Jesse.
the agape love, that brotherly love, to owe no man anything but to love one another. For to love one another is to fulfill the law. Are you?
Okay, but here's
No, I
here's
want the
situation.
sexual kind. I'm not with it.
Here's the situation, everybody. Okay, we can all have fun with the idea, but the thing is this. Okay, in the Bible, it speaks of a great tribulation in which this world, Babylon, is going to be judged. In order to know that America is Babylon, you just got to Google America and Babylon. You'll find all kinds of videos. Everybody is just explaining America is Babylon. Now, the whole thing is this. You can think all you want that you don't want something to be the case, but at the end of the day, it either is the case or it isn't the case. And that's the reason why a lot of people tend to want to dismiss the Bible because they don't want to worry about anything. But the Bible wasn't to make you worried. It is the good news to tell you that you're secure if you believe in this way. And so, and the way that to believe is with the Spirit. To understand that it's not coming from you or anybody. It's coming from the Most High. That's where you're getting the inspiration to do what you're doing if you're a believer and follower of Jesus
So it's
Christ.
coming from you.
Yes.
Thank you for the Spirit.
You're welcome. But I am not the Spirit. The Spirit is my Father in heaven.
But that's you.
The Spirit comes from the Father in heaven. And
When I got baptized the first time, the Spirit came down like a dove. It is not me.
All of us are pass-throughs.
But it is me. Because we all are one. So it's weird. It's a weird singularity is the issue that everybody's having a problem with. The singularity.
It sounds like bad math.
The reason why it sounds like bad math is because your mind, which works logically and rationally, cannot fathom or wrap its mind around the intricacies and complexity that God wields when he decides to do a miracle.
Well,
like they're mutually exclusive, but that's all right.
I'm hearing a lot of words being spoken, but I'm not understanding.
The reason why the Bible talks about this great tribulation and it talks about a way to get out.
Can we, rather than talk about what a book said, can we talk about what we know? What we know to be true.
What we know to be true is this. There's a great reset that these elites that have nothing but bad intentions for humanity. They want to depopulate because they feel at least their stated position is that there's too many people in the world.
Right. So what is the relevance to us today?
The whole thing is this, like we were talking about earlier, it has to do with seasons. There's a season for everything. Right.
Right.
We need to know what to do in this season.
Please. Yes, and please consider my suggestions.
Oh,
I am
talking to you later? Yeah.
I am suggesting that the season is now.
We are absolutely here now. Help. It's so now. That's what I was trying to tell you with the timing.
Well,
you're right.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well,
praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus.
Actually, I mean, it is kind of the point. When people get their understandings together and start recognizing what is real, this will be the time of celebration. I mean, the gospel is good news.
Absolutely.
And so I ask in that term that we use regularly as season, is it actually season or is it season? You know, like behave and behave and knowledge and knowledge. I yield.
Love it. I love it. I love
it. Just questioning.
Just questioning
flavor, like seasoning
from what was being discussed.
It's all of that. See, everybody wants to just feel like there has to be just one meaning to things, but things are multifaceted meanings. They reverberate in these ripples throughout our existence, and they're seen through patterns and recognition of all sorts of information and data. And that's why.
You see where we consider the messenger now?
I am Michael the Archangel. I'm the top messenger.
All right.
I
So who
just,
are we gonna? Hey, Mike, Archangel. I'm on your team. I'm with you.
I know you
We're
are.
standing here today. So who are we going to deliver these messages to? For what purpose and how?
Let me tell you something. Jesus Christ is not racist. My people, who are the African Americans and the Mexicans and all that, they're racist. They became racist due to the occupation of their captivity.
Okay. Did you consider my question?
Well, please repeat. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It sounds like I didn't. If I didn't answer it,
so what I want to do is bring our mind to forward, future focus. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait a minute though. Was he ever just a little bit racist?
Who?
Jesus. Weren't you ever just a little bit racist? Come on.
Thought had to come
through. I mean, he likes the Jews better than everybody else. That's pretty racist.
I mean, you did put Obadiah in your book. Like, don't you talk about in the millennial reign how the special people are going to
talk about priorities,
take the others as slaves again? So, I mean, we still,
I don't love everybody equally.
The Jews most.
I love
have
everybody.
That in the New World. Like, slavery is even in the New World. So, I mean, it seems like, and it's in the Bible, it's in the Old Testament, it's in the millennial reign. It's, it just seems like your God kind of chooses favorites.
And you kind of choose what you want to believe and what it sees fit to speak about it. But listen, the whole thing is the purpose of putting my people in slavery was so that they would know how not to act. And instead of knowing how to act, they have learned how to act by wanting to do what was done to them.
You think they've learned their lesson?
They didn't learn their lesson.
They didn't?
They didn't learn their lesson.
Is that why we have the rapture coming?
Well, the rapture is coming because of Israel, yes. Because I still love them.
I know about the rapture.
Everybody can be a part of it.
Right.
That's what I'm not racist.
Here, that's a beautiful. That might be the perfect answer to the question. If you're Jesus Christ and I'm standing here with you, who are we going to get these messages to? What's the purpose? And how are we going to do it? So maybe that's the answer. If you say that the Jews or whoever this is has not learned their lesson, maybe we need to get in front of them. We need to teach them.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right. So how are we going to do that? What are we going to do?
So it's going to require a little bit more. I got to prove to you guys that I am Christ.
You learn how to communicate in modern times where every nation, their legal tender is known as negotiable instruments. You have to learn how to negotiate. I yield.
Okay. And so you got to tell my people that they're the actual Jews.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot either, but this is a thought. Where are we going to take this? What are we going to do? Who are we going to share this with? What's the plan?
The plan is along the line of what you were planning. You see, you wanted to grow through organic means. And you want to do God's will. And you want to confront people who are holding our people back. Listen, when I say to our people, I include everybody because I see everybody as my brother and sister.
Amen.
There is an order.
I identify as a Black Mexican Jew as well.
Hey, Jesus, are
then
you
would be
like you did in? Are you planning like in Luke, where when the people wouldn't call you king, you said to bring them in front of you to slay them? Are you going to do something like that again? Are we doing a repeat on that this go around, or?
Nope, don't have to do that.
On the softer side of
don't have to do that. Let me tell you what the plan is, okay? And don't blame me.
Because I might be on that side of the
I wouldn't blame him.
Because I'm not saying you're the king, so then that would mean you'd want to slay me, and I've seen you do that in the past. So I'm just a little bit skittish of where this might go.
That's a fair, concern. Here, let me help you out. This whole time that you've been a dick to me, I have not been thinking at all anything but love towards you. All I want to do is continue to push myself to fight my fears, to explain to you all this stuff to which I'm very fluent and well versed about. But the thing is because of the nature of its expansiveness and having the duty to speak
Jack, why
to
is
you.
he saying I'm being a dick to him? Am I being a dick to him? I thought I was.
Would you
just
say that you
challenging
love
what he was
dick?
saying.
I
I
wasn't
thought he
saying
said that we were doing a good
I
thing for him,
wasn't
that we were
really
being
listen to me.
amicable and affable and really embracing him, and
No one
it was
can
all
speak
going
to
in
my
a good
point
direction.
unless they're
All
trying
of
to
a
do
sudden, I'm
something
being a
to
dick.
slander.
How did this happen?
But I
I'm
would
being
think it would
mischaracterized. I think you're being
How are you not
unfair.
being a dick right now?
Jesus, you need to be more open-minded. Come on, just
I am open-minded.
chill your
No,
jets a
Do
little
you
bit.
love dick?
I have never
does
sucked
Jesus
a dick
love dick?
and
I
will
wanna
never
know.
suck a dick ever in
I
my
said, do you love dick?
But
Do
Jesus
you
does
love
love
dick?
dick. Come on.
I have a dick.
No, do you love
It's
dick?
okay. It does its job.
I love Dick. Dick is always welcome here. Well,
Somebody loves dick.
mostly welcome here. There's been
Dick is
times.
always
on
welcome in
Michelangelo.
Jack's space.
Dick,
Hey,
I love you.
you know what? Great things are going to happen. The stars are aligned. Mike's been pointing out some of the signs. The signs are out there in the universe and in the world. The revelation, the whatever names you want to assign it, the time is now. The past.
Jesus, it doesn't count unless you say, I love dick.
I
Say
love
it.
you, Dick.
Nope. He hates you, Dick. You're going to hell.
I felt that.
That does feel bad. I feel bad for you.
No.
I have not damned anybody to hell yet.
Well, how about this? Hell is already now. There's many people in hell right now here on earth, and I believe we are the hope that they've been waiting and praying for.
The dead will rise and they will be judged by me.
Well, we can help prevent the death. I believe we can help prevent the deaths of many that.
Yes, I don't want to judge anybody. The whole goal is if you believe me, you don't get judged.
Okay, well, so great. We're past the judgment. We're to acceptance and the believing state. So, Mike, Jesus Christ, Yami Kwa, man by many names and mysteries.
A lot of names.
Let's figure out what to do.
So,
what is the Father guiding us?
It's okay. You guys gotta imagine this whole thing as a game, but it's not a game because it's so consequential to your very life existence. But you understand as a game that is being played out for the purposes of God's not amusement, but His honor and His glory.
God's delight, yeah.
And His like we're created for His pleasure.
Yes.
Now the game is kind of like Simon Says. There's an asshole who's gonna be coming. He's going to probably tell him everybody's Jesus Christ. Not too many people are going to believe him because he's going to have a mouth like a son of a bitch. And he's prophesied as being a rock of offense, a stone of stumbling. I can pull up all these scriptures, make it a lot more clear, but just this is not
do we need to wait?
Wait for what?
Well, you're saying this stuff will come, that it's going to get worse and all of this. So we just sit around and wait?
No, it's time to come to me. I live in Roseville. Let me tell you what's okay. So the game is this.
We're supposed to
like
go
Simon
to Roseville,
Says, but it's also like musical chairs. It has to do with Sabbath. It has to do with you getting to where Jesus is, because He is the New Jerusalem. He is Zion. He is the Mount of Olives.
He is here and now. So all we got to do is accept it here and now. Walk with Jesus with faith. One with the Father today, moving forward to build and reveal the future that God wants us to have.
My question is this. Why would it say that Shiloh is the gatherer? What is Shiloh gathering?
I don't know.
Can I interject here? I'm just curious, because you guys seem to be believing this guy, Mike, that he's Jesus Christ. So since I'm not a believer, wouldn't this be a great opportunity for me to ask him some questions that I really have
be an
about?
amazing
By all means, yeah.
Because I mean, if you guys are agreeing that he's Jesus Christ, I mean, I'm lucky as I can't believe how lucky I am right now. So, Mike, Mr. G,
I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Either you're very lucky, or I'm just fucking wasting everybody's time.
No,
Are
I'm
you
just
biting,
curious.
Are you biting on this, Jack? Are you thinking he might be legit? Like this is the Jesus Christ?
Should I learn from
plastic
him?
Jesus?
Is this somebody I can learn from?
To be
Yeah, I'm not.
to be
I have
frankly
my
honest,
doubts too.
to be
So we'll just
frankly
give you that
honest,
up front, Didi. I don't think anyone here believes it. I think you just kind of
Nobody believes it yet.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. It's a
I
healthy.
think
Yeah, I'm
It's a
just a
healthy
little
probably
confused.
has. I think Mike probably has many evidence through his experience, maybe his lineage. He's mentioned some ties to lineage. So maybe there is many connections that could present the case that he is, maybe even a very close connection to the story of Jesus.
It's too close. It's too close.
Okay, see, my life has many similarities and distinctions to his as well, but I make no claims other than being a follower of his teachings.
Right. And I wouldn't make such a claim unless I had a preponderance of evidence. I have a preponderance of evidence. I'm rarely given a chance to expound on it because the thing is, it seems so far-fetched to everybody. But I want to bring back a little bit of relevance because this is the thing.
Well, wait a minute though. Could DD have an opportunity? I mean,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
ask
pretty
the question.
unique
Sorry. Go ahead.
circumstances,
Yes,
stars
thank you,
aligning here, if you will.
Fellow
I mean,
brother in the
you have
audience.
Thank
Yes.
you, Dick. Great
you know,
idea.
Good
And
an
idea.
Mike,
atheist here,
please.
and he wants to ask you some questions.
First of all, is the Earth and the moons and the suns and the solar system, are they a sphere? Are they totally a three-dimensional sphere?
Let
Or
me
is it
explain.
like a not a sphere and flat or something? Because I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and just the solar system and just space travel, everything is circular in a sphere.
They will tell you that
sphere.
they cannot really get past the Van Allen radiation belts. There is no such thing as travel into space. There's a firmament that prevents anything to go to heaven that God doesn't want going to heaven.
So we can't travel to other galaxies?
No. If the Father in heaven says that,
yeah, that's a deal killer for me, man.
So Jesus is a flat earther.
I yield.
Is what we're figuring out.
God is a flat earther, yes, but possibly hollow earther too. Listen,
you're getting more convincing. I got to tell you, Michelangelo, that's a feather in your cap in my book. So
I love you, but I never know if you're telling me the truth or not because you're so sarcastic and you're so beautifully sarcastic. Like you're a really good guy.
I'm just
I would love
we
to have a
can't
beer with you, dude.
travel to other galaxies.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
Why can't we travel to other
You're
galaxies?
more like
and other
Jesus by the
planets?
minute.
Here.
And that's what I look like. That's the problem with the whole thing. Unless I'm able to sufficiently prove in a given time, I'm characterized as being just that guy. And unfortunately,
we'll do a miracle.
He's not going to be able to get to me unless he strokes my big fat ego. So
do a miracle.
That's another thing. I don't suck
Are
dick.
you guys doing miracles now? Are you guys doing miracles now? Mike?
Yes, sir.
Hey, farmer with the straw hat in the bottom right, your audio is real low. Maybe
if we are
boost it up
real,
there.
we have real
hold
problems. Yes, that's a good quote.
Is that better?
Oh, we hear you now,
gentlemen.
Is that any better?
Better, much better.
Oh, I heard you guys were doing miracles. Mr. Yamiqua, Jesus Yamiqua.
You want a new hat, don't you?
Yeah. Mr. Yamiqua, you do miracles? I mean, Mr. Jesus Yamiqua.
I am the miracle. Let me show you a little something. If you take the letters, remember I telling you everything has to do with frequency?
Mm-hmm.
If you take the letters of miracle, this is something that my father showed me. I only know what my father shows me. You rearrange them, simply rearrange the letters, you get Michael R. My name is Michael Rios Calderon. That was my birth name, given to me at birth. If you take the letters of Michael Rios Calderon and simply rearrange those letters, my father showed me this too, all praise Yahweh and highest, you get C, real Messiah, C, door in. Now, if you go to John chapter 10, number 10 has a lot to do with it. I mean, it's really hard for people to grasp these.
What do you get? I didn't hear that.
When you take the letters of my name, Michael Rios Calderon, if you simply rearrange them, you get C, real Messiah, C, door in. I would show you. You can go on my Facebook and find it. But I have all this this work I do to communicate the proofs that I have. But the thing is I have to use this iPad for the camera.
What's
So
the tail end of that anagram? It seems like you had extra letters left over, so you just made some words.
It's okay. Jesus can do whatever he wants, and it's still good.
You'd think that he could make his anagram more concise and to the, like tight.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Jesus, right? He could take something that's completely wrong and it'll be right. That's why I'm
what
asking.
I'm supposed to do.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Do you straighten bananas?
Good question. I was wondering that too.
I'm sorry, I'm not that attractive.
Hey Lou.
I don't have any bananas I need straightened, but I need something else straightened. Would you be able to help me out?
I am the straight and narrow path.
Okay. All right.
Can we come back to reality? And
I can straighten you out if you want me to.
I'd like
Lou,
to get
can
to
you
Jack.
guys please take a break for a moment?
Yeah, I'd like to get back to Jack, but just before we do, I have a real problem that I need straightened out. That's all I need to know is if you can help me.
I'm willing to hear your problem and address it in the way that I see fit.
Okay, I'm embarrassed. Wizard, could you tell him?
Wizard, we need your help.
Wizard, I'm embarrassed. Can you tell him?
He usually comes up with the best good jokes. This is probably going to be a good one.
Okay, Dick, can you tell him about my problem, Dick?
Incredibly small genitalia, with micro penis, but it's actually smaller than the
That's not the problem I'm talking about, Dick.
Okay,
that's amongst his other problems.
You know what, Lou? Shut up.
Okay.
You mean that Lou's a grease
All right,
pig?
let's
It
bring
was
this
that thing. What were we talking about?
Let's bring this back to Jack,
actually,
please.
Lou, right. Please. I've
Let's
been
bring it back
sitting
to
here
Jack.
patient, and Mike, I've been sitting here patient, and I feel pretty damn generous with the time. I've made offers to help you figure out your words and your purpose offline. Now, Dee Dee,
I accepted that.
well, let's do something productive while we can. If Dee Dee, if you're willing,
I'm willing.
had questions coming from a place where inquisitive. Now, I don't claim to be Jesus. I claim to know God. I can explain my perception, my relationship. I can explain what I feel and know. You asked a question about the shape. I don't claim to have God's answers, but I do know what I've learned. And I trust in science. Much of what science has developed, I trust in much of it. I do believe in the infinite of space and time. And I believe that both time and space travel may become available with the advancements of our consciousness and our greater understanding of this realm in which we exist in. So I actually hold within me some belief. I allow the impossible to be possible so I can trust that there is a God. And with the impossible, I believe the Star Trek type stuff may actually possibly be in humanity's future, but I don't know. What I do know is when humans stop keeping secrets from each other and stop paying for wars and start actually trying to live with love as the man, the image of Jesus was teaching us, if we choose to follow that, if humanity chose to have trust in God, faith in love, with the seeking of knowledge, holy shit, man.
You got that right, Dick.
It's holy cows. Don't use that awful word.
We have to get rid of the power. We have to get rid of the greed.
Holy macaroni.
Dee Dee,
Did
you're
get
right.
your noodle going?
Is that you said that, DD2 14?
Yes, sir.
Get rid of the power and the greed. Yes, absolutely. That is the ultimate goal.
If
The
humans
real power
have a desire to just better themselves and be better, that's when the whole world will be able to get along, and then we can get off this rock and find somewhere else.
Right.
The whole thing is God had a whole plan for getting rid of all that stuff.
When we
Yeah,
realize
if you
we're
believe in
only-
that.
when we realize we're only a pass through for that power, then we realize our capacity, which builds over time from being maybe a 20 amp capacitor to a 30, a 50, is electronic, and that's the ascension. I yield.
I like this rock, DD14. I don't want to leave. Why would we want to leave? It's a beautiful rock.
I want to explore.
It's quite a beautiful rock.
I want to see what's out there.
I mean, there's so much wonderful nature and untouched wilderness. More wilderness today than there was even 100 years ago. I mean, this rock is beautiful.
Hey, Lou. Yep.
I didn't
There's
say I
no
didn't like it here.
disagreement.
I want to see what's
There's
out
no
there.
disagreements. The earth is beautiful. Dee Dee, I wanted to, you said something, and I'm going to keep pressing if you'll allow it. But when Mike brought up what he was saying, and you said, if you believe that, with the God, okay? So what I believe, the message of the Christ, I do believe in a God, a being of consciousness and energy, a power beyond our comprehension that has allowed us to be real. And I believe the message of the return of Christ, the second coming, will be just what we were just talking about, the ascension of man, where man rises above that primitive, selfish, evil beast, the one that's greedy and trying to dominate nature and each other. When we rise above that and become truly humble servants to each other, like not out of a disgraceful state, but out of a joy, I get to help someone.
Listen, Jack, you have
Are
the
you
correct
Are you
image
talking about the
of what
Native
the kingdom will
Americans,
be
Jack?
like.
Dee Dee, were you saying something?
No, I
I'm saying, are you talking about the Native Americans, like the going back to that savage sort of existence? Is that
Wasn't
what you
that
were saying?
savage, actually? To be honest, we were quite civilized.
When?
I'm talking about the savage beasts of today that lock up fellow human beings and murder for profits or for
Evil.
order.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the savages of like last couple hundred years ago. I mean, the ones that were murdering and
No, the ones
raping
that
then.
we live with today, the ones
People
that
are
are
murdering today. There's all kinds of wars. It's everybody's savage. Everybody's.
Okay, I was just
savage.
confused. That's all. I just want to confuse.
Does it make more sense now?
Yes,
When
it
I
makes more
say
sense.
rise above the beast, it means there's a beast within you, Lou, that you can rise above.
Well,
in
I'm
order
not a
to
murderer. I don't rape and murder. I don't do that.
He's amazing.
Jack, good evening.
Nothing wrong with him.
I didn't say that you do rape or murder, but I say that there is a beast still that is controlling you.
Yep.
And that there's a greater spirit of you that it's waiting to come forth.
What happens is this: people get hyper skeptical and they become cynical. Is what happens.
It's easy to do.
Yeah,
It's easy
to do. Yeah,
it's easy to. Along the idea of faith and a lack of faith, it is so easy to build a case to distrust, distrust other people, to distrust God, to distrust yourself. It is easy to build that case.
Especially when you see so many compromised human beings.
Yes.
Time and time again, you get proven this. Everybody's a fucking fuck off. Everybody's a fuck off. That's what the mind does. And then it closes out opportunity.
Jack, before the night's over, I want to wish everyone a happy Easter because I know it's that time of year. And I want to thank you for letting me come on the panel.
Happy Easter, tribe.
Thanks.
Happy Easter, tribe.
I harbor no grudges or hatred at all. So any discussions we have, no matter how heated, and Wizard knows, because I've even had probably more heated stuff with him, but we only gain more respect for that because we're only there to hammer closer to the truth, and that only happens with the crucible of reason and logic and facts and wisdom.
And it only
Very
happens when
Mason,
people like
very,
you
very
listen,
Mason
like you're doing.
tribe.
You are. I can tell you love the truth because you're a listener. You've been here the whole time, and you haven't said anything until you felt like it was a good time for you to chime in. That was a perfect time for you to chime in to explain exactly what you did.
Well, thanks.
In the good graces of Jesus.
Hang on a second. StreamYard's giving me a hard time here. Okay. Jack, one thing I was kind of curious about is I know we've seen some of the Wes Watson inspirational stuff on the Pimp channel there. And I was curious to you if you'd seen the one where he was talking about, doing the what you do within yourself to be prepared for anything to come, that you don't wait for it. So my question to you would be this, is that, presidential elections come once every 4 years, and we have a big one coming up. If you are so called to be there to consult, as you say, with any of these contenders, are you prepared? And how would you judge that preparation right now in a mock panel or a mock consultation with the people you have right here, right now? I mean, could you actually manage a presentment that would be worthy of someone that's actually contending to be the president of America and really one of the primary spots in the free world?
I don't think he's ready. You're never ready. He will do an amazing job doing it because he doesn't fucking let himself let him down.
Mike, I think he was talking to Jack.
We'll all speak for Jack. Jack is going to do a fantastic job. But you know what? I will say this, Tribe. He definitely has improved since I've seen him on here. So you got to give him credit for that at least, right? Like he's putting himself in a social atmosphere where he's constantly being challenged and having to, face his
Tribe did
accuser,
that today. Tribe did that earlier. He complimented him on that.
Yes, he did.
Cool.
And
Good stuff.
then proceeded to make a lot of accusations and place me under interrogation, supposedly in preparation.
Specifics. This is specific. I'm asking just this time, but a little bit simpler. It's like, do you feel that you are prepared to give a worthy presentation now? To be honest with yourself and us here right now, Jack, it's not a matter of ego or anything else, because, I don't know if I am ready. Maybe I am. But if you're called to be in front of one of these contenders to say, Jack, what's your side on this? What's your angle? What's your vision to this that would set me apart and give me a chance to win and not just pose and talk about things, but to do? Do you feel you're in a position to give that kind of actionable wisdom to somebody that's a true worthy contender?
Great question.
Is it a great question? So
no, it's my question. It's not to be judged as good or great. It's just if you can answer that, I'd appreciate that.
Well, hold on.
From Jack specifically, because it's really about his feelings for this. Because it's not. I'm not trying to indict you. It's just an assessment, a self-assessment, so that you know where you stand and know where you could be. Because time is getting close for all this stuff, Jack, and you know that. And if you're going to make that platform, and I see you making strides to it, I'm just curious, are you truly preparing yourself to get ready? Because it could come any moment and you don't know. Are you ready for it, that moment?
If I may interject, I would ask you,
no, it's still opportunity.
Are you ready to support him since he's preparing himself to do that? Are you ready to stand behind him and support him as a man, supporting a man who's going to do something like that?
Everyone you see here on this panel is here to support him. And let me answer your question.
Well, Tribe, answer that question.
Yes, thank you. I believe that Wizard has proved it. I've proved it. Everyone's here proved that we're here to help Jack.
Really? When is help going to be offered? At what point?
I didn't say help. I said support. He asked support. I'm being specific to his question.
Help is more. Support is more than a heart.
He asked about support, correct, Mike? You said support him, right?
What I mean by support is not a heart like a share. I'm talking about being there for him at the ready when he needs things to help him. Like he needs you to make some phone calls. He needs you to do something with some paperwork.
Wizard, have you been here and have I been here when he needs us?
No. How about you ask?
We could be better.
I've made that.
Michelangelo, are you prepared to do that? Is that what you're saying? Is
I am
wow,
prepared to do that.
Jack.
Huh?
Well, you look at that, bud. You got
I
someone
know.
who's gonna support
Right.
you in your efforts and
Right.
get his
I
hands
know
dirty
that.
and do the real
Dick.
work.
I
Hey, and
know
listen
that.
to this,
So
Let's
Dick.
see if he's.
Hey, Dick, listen
Let's
to
see
this.
how
I'm
fruitful
also
that
ready to be
is.
there for you too.
And if just like Moose and myself and others who've made attempts that have had a failed
made it. Okay, hold on. Dick,
experience
hold
in
on.
that
While you
process.
continue to over glorify yourselves, oh my God, my life has been so transformed. The Encountering Wizard and Tribe and Dick, holy shit, my life could never have been this good had you guys not fucking come into it.
Perhaps you're
Holy
correct,
shit.
Jack. I'm not even
You guys
arguing
are-
with you.
Hey,
This
Jack.
is an opportunity. Let's see if Michelangelo can.
We don't want to be
go where
unappreciative.
no other man
How
has
about
gone. And
How about this? I had to sit and listen to Tribe repeat his fucking question over and over and make his explanations of why he thinks. Here, let's break it down.
Well, wait, did you ever answer any of those questions,
Oh,
Jack?
you're going to repeat it? Now,
Did you
now
answer
you're
them?
going to
answer
accuse
is-
me
the
of not
answer is yes,
answering
Jack, you're
because you
right.
guys want
Mike
to talk
still has
about
to answer
everything
my
else.
question.
You
Mike
are
just wanted
ready,
to answer,
Jack.
that's all.
You're
An
always
answer.
ready to
Simple
present,
answer.
right? You're ready
Simple
to
answers,
have a
not
conversation
The
with
fact
anybody.
not
that
deflection.
he even
He's
said
not afraid
that
of
he
nothing.
wants
lives
to
without
help
fear.
is
You can't stop
the
this
answer.
man.
He's only been showing and proving with this channel that
I
he's
agree with
about
that.
change and trying to
I have seen
affect
improvement
it
in Jack.
in any way. He's not about himself, but he does have respect for himself, and that's good. Everybody should. Everybody fucking sucks. Everybody can get saved. I am Jesus
Mike.
Christ.
Jack, can you make Mike
I
answer my
disagree with that.
question?
I don't think Jack's
What was
improved
your
at all. I
question?
don't
I
think you
heard
can
it.
improve on perfection. Jack has been perfect from the day he was born, and you can't change that.
He's got a lot going for him. He does, but he's not perfect.
Jack, make Mike answer my question. Is the
Make
Earth
me answer
a sphere?
his question, Jack. Please.
Mike, he
this flat
wants
Earth
to hear-
theory drives me crazy. Can he please answer the question? Is the Earth a sphere?
It's a circle.
He already
It says
said
in the
it's-
Bible.
But he already said it
Not a
was
sphere.
flat, so it can't be a globular oblate spheroid. It's got to be some kind of plane. Or
In the Bible, it says the earth
Jesus.
is
Now
unmovable.
you're going to go in the other direction.
What
Wait,
direction
wait,
am I
what
on?
about my question?
I thought we already crossed these
Let's
waters
answer
and
all the
established
questions.
this.
Single
I
file
never
line.
got my question
Jesus is
answered,
a flat
man.
earther,
Well,
yes or no?
here,
It's very simple.
hold on.
Everybody's question is important.
Jesus is a flat earther, yes or no?
Edie's question
Yes.
was answered
There
by
you go.
Mike
See?
already. I offered my
Are
perspective.
you ready? Are you ready? I don't think you're
thought we
ready. He
moved
said no.
on,
Well, then Mike
and then
said no.
Tribe
You
wanted
agree with
to
Mike?
come in with his clown attack towards me again. So, are we dealing with the shape of the planet or Tribe's clown attack again?
Let's see. What are we
Clown
doing?
attack now. We've already established the shape. Now let's do Tribe's clown attack. Are you
Mike
prepared
agreed that you're not
to
ready.
go
Are you
deliver
feel you're ready?
a well thought out presentation, possibly with PowerPoint and
Why do you
utilizing
want to
the
know if he's
latest
ready or
greatest
not?
technology?
Is,
Now,
do
I
you,
already
Because
said he is
listen,
ready.
because
This is
let me
Tribe's
explain
question.
why. Because
Inquiring minds want to
Dick,
know. I
Dick,
already
I'm trying to
agree.
answer Mike's question here because the reason I say that is because should the opportunity present itself, right? He's going to expect an introduction, and whoever gives him an introduction is going to be a reputation on the line for Jack. When you present someone, you're putting
What
your
the fuck
reputation
are
up
you
there for the
talking
presentment.
about, dude?
who's getting presented?
Jack
You're
is
just
supposed
like off in some imaginary fantasy land, and you're detached from fucking reality.
It's okay. We love
I
him still.
yield. Perhaps someone else could clarify better, but I yield. You're right. I'm being too ambiguous.
We love you still. We'll be patient.
Let's come into reality of this moment, okay? You literally, rather than inquire how you could help or what might be achieved or maybe even what alternatives there are to my ideas of trying to get in front of the government, you want to place yourself into some fucking position over me asking my opinion. You've not accepted my opinion. You've not accepted my fucking explanations. You've not accepted my invitations.
Hey, maybe he sees
why
you getting
should I
so
give you
close.
an answer again?
It's
Maybe
an
he sees you getting
invitation.
so close
Mike,
to the
let me
mark.
explain. Let me
He's a
answer him.
little bit-
It's an invitation to build a castle in the sand. I don't want an invitation to build a castle in the sand. You see, people that are skilled worksmen and craft.
There's nothing wrong with building a castle in the sand.
It's
putting
bad.
that out
Don't
there.
build a castle in the
Well,
sand.
Hey, Merry fucking
especially
Christmas.
when
Where are
we're
we going
not
with
talking about a castle in the sand. We're talking about having conversations about what the truth is of spirituality, religion, economics, politics. I'd like to reveal the truth to the employees within the United States government so that they know how to be better human beings who actually care about other human beings. Now, tribe, I'm obviously a man who cares about other human beings. Wizard and many others have been disappointed in me because I wasn't so concerned about property, right? I went through months of fucking angry tantrums from Wizard because I didn't follow his advice. I know you've got different excuses, but nonetheless, many people have been projecting their insecurities upon me. I make no claims of being Jesus, but I do claim to be one and at ease and at peace with our Father.
Well, the thing is, in the Bible, it says that if they hated me, they'll hate you. That could possibly be going on. What I think is actually going on, though, with Tribe is this. He wants to believe in you. And he's pressing you because he wants to see. Listen, men are always looking for a leader. We don't want to just rely on ourselves. And we like valor and we like courage. When people
I think you got some competition, Michelangelo. I don't mean to cut you off.
Somebody's ready to take that
You
torch.
might have just met your match here. I don't know what's going on, but I'm confused as to will the real Jesus Christ please stand up?
Listen, if someone can out Jesus me, I'm all about it.
Yamiqua, my child, haven't I told you time and time again to quit pretending to be me? And you choose the holiest of days. This
I
is
love his voice.
blasphemy in the highest of order.
That's the best
So you
Yamiqua
continue,
I've
my
ever heard.
son, you will be condemned to the fiery pits of hell for eternity.
Dude, this guy's got some swag.
Pretty convincing. He's got you on the
Dude,
hot seat.
this guy's a ladies'
You gotta
man.
figure
I
that
know
out.
he gets the ladies, dude.
Is the earth
For
flat?
everyone else, I know you have
As
many
Jesus
questions.
would.
Wait.
Now it's not
Hey.
the time. For I must
You
go.
look too handsome to be Jesus or God.
Jesus,
Have a
Dee Dee's
blessed
still on this question. Dee Dee still wants to know, is the word the shape of the world? Please, if you can offer
Yeah,
answers.
we need to know, what is the shape of the earth? Mr.
Now is not the
Fabio
time,
Jesus.
my child. Thank you and have a blessed evening.
Thank you. Love you.
I fucking love you. Thank you, Modern
That was
Jesus, for
perfect.
joining us. Oh
I've
my
never heard my
goodness.
name said any more beautiful. He did a good job. That was perfect. I'm gonna have to record that.
It is.
Yeah, Tribe's just a buzzkill anyway, Jack. Don't let him fucking ruin your vibe. He's an energy sucker, a vampire, a leech, just a,
Yeah.
Slothful being, decrepitous.
He is
I
not
won't go
that.
that way.
Falcator,
He's a son of a bitch, just like all the rest of you.
No, here. You know
I
what?
guess it's
Mike
projection
was-
then. I see myself in him.
Everybody sucks.
Mike was speaking. Everybody does not suck.
Everybody sucks.
is
Everybody's a
amazing.
sinner.
Tribe sucks.
Everybody's a sinner.
Stop. Anyway, Tribe is a man I do respect. He presents a wonderful logic, reasoning, and I think you observed as well. He reserves himself mostly, but lately he's continued to escalate his arrogance towards me, and continually every time we're in the same place, it's like he thinks he needs to interrogate me.
Maybe he
And-
sizes himself up by you. He measures himself
Well,
by you.
It's an egoic insecurity that he's showing, and
Well,
he
don't be
doesn't
mad.
need
If
to
that's a
compare
problem that
it.
he has, don't be so mad at him for it. That's a problem he
not.
has. That's his shit.
I'm not mad.
Well, don't beat him up about it, please.
I'm not. And
Hey, you're not opposed to the idea of role play, though, right, Jack? I mean, that would be productive.
yes and no. Here's something about me. I've never never enjoyed acting, never enjoyed pretending. That's why I was never a good liar. But where I'm at now, this world needs to stop fucking pretending. This world needs to stop playing around at the expenses of others. So,
Jesus.
Jesus.
We need to love Tribe through his insecurities, just like I need to love you guys through you guys.
No,
Son of a bitch.
Well, he's trying to play
insecurities.
armchair quarterback, you know, from the fucking sidelines here, saying that you were acting as counsel. We need to let you continue so you can advise Jack on his broadcast of how he needs to be. What sense does that
And
make?
then you got to advise me of how I need to be on Jack's broadcast. Is that
You're
is that
doing
what we have to do?
fantastic. This is great.
Oh, I love your
engaging discussion.
advocation. Yeah, thank you for advocating for me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean, hey, Tribe, you are welcome here. There's no animosity between us. I did forget we had some confrontations, and I was frustrated with the fucking gauntlet from Paul's panel earlier.
Damn, he gave me the gauntlet.
Well, it seems to happen.
I mean, I see him do it today.
Well, it's the role I get to play. I'm continuing to try and navigate. How do I communicate with people? How do I convince people to trust that which sounds unbelievable? You know, how do I get people to maybe get excited at possibilities? Because I've cried so many tears from excitement for things that I thought were going to happen, only to find out I was lying to myself. But today is Easter Sunday. I thought, you know what? Personally, Easter is not in the Bible. It's not something that I think Jesus would be saying, or God would be saying, hey, go eat a pig and a turkey on today or whatever. You know,
no,
it's been distorted. But even the name of Jesus, you know, as I understand, Yeshua or another name was actually okay. So Jesus was a name that may not even be accurate.
It's not.
But I still wonder, you know, I don't know all the answers, so I don't know what what the future will reveal for us. But I thought, what about it could be perfect in God's story that today, of all days, Easter Sunday, where many people are having that thought of the man and the sacrifices and the possibilities. So what if through man's thoughts and intentions, today, Easter Sunday, God allowed the veil of confusion to be lifted for people to start waking up to the reality of life, their hearts opening, exploding with the feeling and rush of love and life. And so what if by man's intentions, somehow today did go down in history, connected to the spirit of the name Jesus?
And that's how I know your life is fully directed by God.
Thanks, Tips. Awesome, Jack. That's beautiful. I'm so happy to be here with you and all of you here on the panel. Thanks for making acquaintances, friends, family. You know, everybody's one family, so you're all welcome. And even the one guy at the bottom that was having the question, I was like right into. He had a fair question because I kind of have the same kind of question for you, Jack. So, you know, that's why it was, you know, when I said great question, because I was like, yeah, I got the similar, because you want to be met with the right people. So are you ready? Like, you know what exactly you're going to say, because you've been telling me that as well. So when we all connect with the right people, we all need to be ready. So we talk about things, we figure it out amongst our brothers here to get to the right words for when we get to the point that we're going to be talking to the right people at the right time. We know the words to say because we've built it all together as a family.
And coming from Jesse, that is he is a brother that is challenging you for your benefit. It's a good challenge. We do
I
need
don't
that
challenge anybody. I just speak my mind, and what I see, you can either like it or not. I don't care, but I won't stop saying what I feel I need to say.
Yeah, it's not that you're intentionally challenging him. You're helping him because you want to prepare him.
Yeah, it's just questions. We just have questions, and questions are fair. And when we all respect each other, then no question is a bad question.
What we deal with sometimes is this: we are sensitive, even though we could be the biggest, burliest man. We have feelings as men, and there's people out there that are actively trying to pull our card. Every man has this issue, and so
every man thinks it's their job to pull the card of every other man. It's absurd.
We want to be open to love, but we want to be guarding our door from the terror that lies outside. So the trick is finding the balance and being discerning, and that's what we're all trying to get better at.
The trick is to fill yourself with truth and love, and then you have nothing to lose. You have everything to offer. So Jesse, you brought up that you agreed with the question. Okay. And while I would normally say yes, I'm all for that. Number one, everyone believes that their disbelief is my problem. Okay. Now, to answer the question, am I prepared? Yes, I am prepared to speak to any man, any woman on this planet at any time regarding the topics of God, religion, economics, politics, and solutions for the world. I'm prepared to speak with anyone who is willing to share connections, to share support, or to help me move forward to the goals.
Okay, then can I advise you, Jack, please watch the 1-hour video I did on explaining why I contacted the UN and the people that I did contact and how I worded it.
You contacted the UN?
I most certainly did.
Well, that's cool. You want to come share that story on? I got a podcast where I interview people from all around the world called The Missing Link, and I'd love for you to share that story.
Dude, you'd be stupid to let that go. That's a good opportunity for you.
I may or may not. I don't know. I've already posted it. So.
Okay, well, contact Jack if you ever want to. We're on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, Telegram, BitChute, Odyssey, and then some dollar vigilante TV guy, some business guy. He added all of our shows to his network or whatever. So it's lots of places if you want to get the word out.
Wow, that's so cool.
I would love that, I think, but could I ask you to invest the time like I asked Jack to invest the time?
Yeah, I would definitely watch it. So if you send it to Jack, then I'll get it from Jack.
All right.
Hey, Jesse, I've been listening to Wizard. He's got a lot of good things to say. He'd be good on your show. Yeah.
Yeah, lots of people. I just want to give everybody a voice and, give a platform to people. And I just ask questions. I like people. And so I even had like a guy named David Icke on the show, and he said he only could have an hour. And it was about an hour and 50-minute long video. And he's like ended off. This was fun. So that was like, one of
you had the Lizard Man on your channel.
Yeah, I asked him if he was invited to any secret societies, if he's ever been in one of those, because I got hammered by a lot of people that I was having him on, so I had to ask him some questions.
Jesse
has a lot of interviews. You got to go to his Missing Link.
Jesse and I have been friends for a number of years on Facebook.
Nice.
I don't see how you wouldn't have him on if you had that opportunity. Anyone would want to pick his brain. I mean, just from his perspective, what he's seen and the people he's talked to, and he's been he's been on the scene for a while.
Yeah, it was so amazing for him to say yes. I couldn't believe it. I just started the show. It was episode 15. And so we just started, but I already had Lee Camp, which is a political comedian, someone who I followed for a long time. He hammers both sides. And I just reached out to him, and he was, I think, interview 7 or 6. And then Sasha Stone, we had him on interview 7. I had a truth telethon where we brought like 26 truthers in like 10, 12 straight straight hours, one after another. And I emceed and hosted the whole thing. And so he was on, I think, our second one, or first or second. But anyway, so when I started my own thing away from these people, and he I knew a whole bunch of people to bring onto the show. And then David Icke said yes on show 15. So I was pretty happy about that, surprised, because apparently a lot of people, I've never read all his stuff, right? Like, I'm not a big David Icke fan, but the stuff that I do hear him say, and the stuff, his videos and the clips, he's right on the money, right? Like, I'm so happy he's sharing those things that he's sharing, because those are stuff that people need to hear.
Absolutely. And this is where we actually support our other male brothers who are doing big things. We have to support each other. He is so prolific in what he's doing right now.
And there is a link in the chat over here for you, both Jack and Jesse there.
Okay. Let's see.
It's a link to the stream I did earlier. It's 1 hour long. And with that, Jack, God bless you. I have faith in you. I am proud of you. You have changed. I've changed. We've all changed. And that's what this is about. And again, in relevance to John Vance's comment earlier about America has no morals. And this is proof of it. No, this is proof that we are gaining ground. Because
absolutely.
what we're discussing is our morals. We're
yes.
Close gathering. With that, I yield. I love y'all. Have a good
Love
day.
you, Wizard.
I don't see any link.
It's in the. I'll text it to
well, I'll post it again though.
Oh, there you go. It's in the. Oh, did Jesse leave? I'll send it to him.
All right. Appreciate it. And again, I'm out, guys.
Hey,
if it wasn't
Wizard,
for Jesse, I wouldn't know you, Jack.
Oh, one thing too, along the lines of Jesse Howell, the missing link. For those who are listening, please look it up. And you know what? There's a connection there. Wizard, I actually want to encourage you to consider going on there as well, to share some of the things you know, and maybe even promote your website and stuff so that info gets out more. Another man who I'd encourage you to consider, Wizard, is that Jeffrey Doherty, the Christian whistleblower. He's been looking for people who identify themselves as Christians or who have faith. He's a former pastor who's turned against the Christian faith. I talked to him briefly, and in the comments, someone else brought your name up, and he asked about it. Who's this Wizard guy?
Listen, that is a sign. You should definitely follow up on these leads, because the thing is, there's reasons for everything. And the Father orchestrates things through people in ways that we don't even understand yet, fully comprehend. Just my encouragement.
Well,
but, I mean, everybody's got free will,
You get that information to me, Jack. You already know my email. Everybody should have my email.
I don't have your email.
Hey, Wizard,
can I get your email?
Wizard, that link you offered, it's limited. It's not open to the public, so must be limited to friends or something.
Let me grab just my regular Facebook page, and it's the first video on my page.
Well, just make sure it's available public, that it's not.
Well, I don't know why it's restricted. It's everything I do has been public for 7 years.
Hey, Wizard, can you send your Facebook information and everything to that you can to Jesse and Jack, so I can receive it through them?
It's in the chat right next to you. Go to the
Let
chat
me see.
link. It's private chat. Go to the private chat. It's right there.
I see it. I got it.
Well, there we go. Everyone's connected. Good deal.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pain. We gotta connect everybody.
Hey,
we have to get over our egos. We have to actually love everybody. We have to actually be servants. It's gonna be trying, because all we want to do is lead.
The best way to lead is to serve.
Yes.
Best way to serve is to find someone in need.
Yes.
Best way to find someone in need is to look beyond. Well, maybe you got to look at yourself first. Maybe people listening, maybe the first person you need to help is yourself. but the best way to help yourself is to get out of yourself and get into the problem and into the life of another, because problem for one is a problem for us all, and we are not free. We will never be free until slavery has ended.
Right.
And if anyone is enslaved, anyone is imprisoned, then we are.
All of us are. And the best way to love God is to start by doing the mental meditations and pondering the things that Jack has been just alluding to. Follow his path. He is on the right path.
Be good, do good.
Brother,
Regardless.
yes. Dee, thank you. Yes. Would you say be good, do good, regardless? Amen. Amen.
It's good to do good. Yeah, don't do evil. Don't do evil.
Well, and then
if you do
honestly,
evil, repent and then get on the right track.
And honestly, you live like that, you can move beyond religion, because that is the relationship with God, the one that would be called the Father, or maybe Allah, or whatever. I don't mean to diminish names, but there is
Yahweh,
good, and there is ungood. And we want to be the good, and we want to seek the good, share the good.
Because there's honor in it. There's honor.
Amen.
And there's valor, and there's things that you can achieve true merit by actually being honorable. And you cannot be honorable. You can only stand in dishonor by doing evil.
Don't forget respect.
Yeah, only you can separate yourself from yourself. We're all here together. We're living in a crazy matrix world where everything's an illusion and a delusion, and it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. But one thing that's constant is love. There's more good people than there are bad. There's a lot of people who are confused. A lot of people have been traumatized. A lot of things have happened to a lot of people to make this cage rattled. And then on top of that, there's the slavery part that you guys were just talking about, right? Which, makes people also not be able to be in alignment with who they are and in that full love, because they're too worried about having to try to make money to pay for this crazy lifestyle that, should mostly be just free. We should just be free to just love and be, just explore. I'm 100% with you with no money, Jack. There's no money necessary when there's abundance of everything. You can just do and have things. There's abundance, and nobody steals because you can have anything. It's just all there. There's an abundance of everything. So crime just eliminates.
In the future kingdom, the true value will be seen in you yourself. You will be the money. So anybody who's able to be in your company is wealthy.
I mean, that's already the case from an energetic standpoint. The currency.
You are the currency.
Yeah, that's your faith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you are the currency.
Yes. You are the value. If you weren't valuable, God wouldn't have tried to save you guys or send anybody to help you guys. He'd watch you burn.
And that's why they created usury. And that's why they created usury. Usury is what kind of fucked everything up, because it's supposed to be against the law, like natural law, to have charge interest on loans. This was something that never happened. This was against God's law. And then they changed it. They used a certain group of people to make it okay to have usury, where they charge interest on those currency.
Yeah, and before you guys get off the point of love and lovey-dovey, the whole point is to love, because that is the ultimate commandment. Is it states love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. What is God? God is love. So you love, and then you love your neighbor as you would yourself. How do you want to be loved? You want to be loved the way God loves you, the way the Most High loves you, right? The creator of everything.
Amen.
Jack, he is so close to a believer. I can't see the difference. He's so good.
You just got Mike to admit he loves Dick too.
Yeah, no homo though, but I love Dick.
I always do. I start with the tip and work my way in,
Dick, what you said it's a
lube it up.
Truth. But the thought that came up to me while you guys were talking is, ask yourself, how do I love? Because how you love is what is most important. It's not how you receive love, it's how do you love, and what do you love. So here's where I was thinking that we've got one Father, one God, but there's gods that control us. So I was thinking earlier about there's a God of my mind, there's a God of my body, and there's a God of my spirit. And they all work together. So I try to give each God, each part of that which controls me, my mind, my body, and my spirit, they each receive my attention each day. Does that make sense?
I think you're naming it wrong, but you got a good idea. So basically this, there's one God, but you have different faculties about this God that he expresses himself in different ways. And because I see you motivating towards God's will. So you're not on the enemy's side. Same with Jesse.
No. We are, whether we recognize it or not, especially those gathered. I mean, there's billions of people alive today, but us having this conversation, these topics, we are part of the light. We are the light that is here to shine, to bring forth the new, right? To break away from the old and the destructive, controlling patterns of the past that have oppressed. We are here to rise above the oppression, to rise above the beasts.
I'll tell you what. Jesus didn't say that he was going to do this all by himself, or if he wanted to be the main show. He told everybody they could be better than him, and he only encourages that, only wants to see that. Jesus only wants to be impressed. He doesn't want to just be unimpressed all the time with everybody. He wants you guys to impress him. He made it so that he is not going to be the top should people wish to excel, evolve their consciousness, get super spiritual, and show Jesus some shit that he needs to learn. He's always going to be in control, though, but he only wants to see you guys be crazy amazing.
What about this thought? I want you to see what you think of this. I figured that Jesus was a messenger from God from long ago, taught us faith and reverence,
and to cut out the middleman, that you have a direct connection to source creator. You do not need anyone else to talk to communicate, to feel that love from.
Amen.
All you have to do is use my name.
Hold on. So Jesus in the story long ago showed us the power that's available with one man connected to God. What I believe, the thought came to me, if I'm going to accept your Jesus returned,
do not accept it unless you get proven.
Jesus.
Sorry, that's my name. But go ahead.
The interruptions is.
I'm sorry.
The army of the clouds. Jesus would return with the army in the clouds. We are right now God's army in this electronic cloud.
Amen.
That is today.
It's a symbol. It's like everything repeats. Exactly.
Hey, Jack, if I may.
Please.
If I may, I believe this Jesse guy here connected you too. Is that the case? Jesse, are you aware of that?
He connected me to you too.
One, Mike doesn't know when to pause, and two, did you know that Mike says he's Jesus Christ?
Oh yeah, I had him on my show. I've had two other people that truly believe they were Jesus as well, and I've met a guy who believes he's John the Baptist. I've interviewed 2 or 3 Archangel Michaels that truly believe, and the one guy was telling me about the times when he was actually him at that time. That was him, and he remembered stories of at that time. Yamikwa here, he's connected to Jesus through his signs and his name, and he's created these things that he's got Jesus in them. This Christ consciousness is in everybody, has their different connection to what the Christ is. And so some people have more clear definition and believe that they're reincarnated as Christ. So I don't discredit anybody and their beliefs. I just listen to them, try to respect everybody as much as I can. When someone's screaming all the time and, interrupting and stuff, it kind of gets a little hard. But, I like to respect everybody and who they are.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you have faith in God and spirituality.
100%.
Well, a bit about myself is I do not. And so someone who's outside of having that belief and sees someone like this guy in this chat saying that he's Jesus Christ, I have to assume that there's mentally something unstable.
You don't have to assume, but you choose to.
No, and don't take it as disrespect. I'm just kind of stating.
I'm not taking it as disrespect. I'm just saying you said you have to. You have a choice.
So with that being said, I'm on a path and a journey to learn about faith in God, because I parallel with the thoughts and the views mostly of people wanting to be good and doing good. But then I see something like this where it kind of makes me question, where's the sanity?
Okay. Do you believe that we can manifest? Do you believe that we have manifestation skills, that if you think about things, then they can happen? You can make them happen? Not talking about physical, I just manifested this out of the air. I believe that that's maybe possible if we unlock all our skills, but I'm talking about manifestation skills. Like, do you believe that we have that ability to manifest things?
I think he's asking, are you aware of the connectedness, the synchronistic realities that are actually that some of us can see? Do you see any connection to some
I can't say I do.
No.
I can't say that I do or
It was a simple question. It was a simple question. Do you think that we can manifest stuff?
Yeah.
I think humans, as a humanitarian, you can create, you can procreate, you can decreate, really. I mean, there's nothing that we can't
those
do.
With thoughts, though. But it takes thoughts, though, right? You have to manifest it. You have to put thoughts. You have to think about these things. You have to manifest them. You have to keep thinking about them. You put the action with your thoughts. You have to. It doesn't happen with you creatively manifesting it.
Well, yeah, then I can agree with that. Sure.
Yeah. So we can manifest things here.
So, and that's what you're explaining. He's manifesting this higherness.
Everybody has their own manifestation to what they believe, and what they believe they're making and coming true. Whether it's coming true in your world doesn't matter to the person that's manifesting what their world and what their reality is about. So all of our manifestation energy vibrations on this dimension plane are vibrating all together, and we're trying to make sense of it, and we're hopefully all coming at each other in respect and love, and that's the ultimate, to be able to communicate. But with the manifestation, what I was saying is that if we're manifestors, we can literally manifest and create. I'd rather manifest knowing that I live forever, that my life doesn't just end when my life ends here, the faith that there's a lot more than just this dimension. So if I keep that in my manifestation, it's more likely to happen than if I thought I'm just going into a hole. Because if a person just thinks that says that they don't believe in a life after death, and that they're done when they're here, that's your reality, which you'll manifest into the ground, and your life will, hopefully still beat on, because, life always beats on. You can't, destroy energy. It just gets transferred, right? So, and there's actual scientific proof that when a sperm gets fertilizes the egg, there's an actual spark of light. And then at the end, when a person transpires, there's actual scientific video of you see something leaving, like a light leaving the body. So, we live forever, and that's my manifestation, will be that I have faith that I'm living forever. So I'm just doing the best that I can while I'm here, and that my life will just live forever on from, here is my belief in like a higher power and creator.
And that's so important, because this is the thing, okay?
So, Jack, really, if you can answer this question for me, Jack, and you too as well, Jesse. So, my observation of Mike, being Jesus Christ, and I understand it's his manifestation to this point, his beliefs, and it's accumulated, culminated.
That's what
But
you
I
have to
look at it the
presume.
same way as me looking at a man that is dressed like a woman and claims that I'm using this as an analogy. When I look at a man that says he's a woman, in my mind, I'm like, you are definitely not a woman. So mentally, I think, well, there's something going on in your brain that, you're trying to figure out, I guess you could say. So, and I'm not that I'm better, but I'm trying to understand what the reality is in front of me. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, total. And, this is a very touchy because in my country, they just made a law of 25,000 if you're caught, talking about in this subject. So, and I know it's in other places, they're cracking down. So we just have to be careful on this subject. I just believe when a person is 18, choose what you want. If you want to be a tree, and, leaf, whatever you want to do. I can choose to be around it, or I can choose not to be around that energy. But we do have to protect the children from some of the stuff that's going on. That I'm 100% agreement with.
That's what I was going towards.
Yeah, Dee Dee's got some questions. He's some questioning disbelief. Now, the claims of Mike, Dee, hey, I'm with you. I see the comparison you're making. I see the reasons for doubt, the reasons
I'm willing to
wonder.
work with you guys through it.
Well, I tried to give you a lot of time. Actually, no, you and I are gonna talk offline.
Yeah, I already accepted.
And then but Jesse, what you were describing, Dee, I'm sure what you were hearing is, yeah, sure. Build your life of fantasy, live in make-believe.
Yeah.
That wouldn't help me increase my faith. So I don't know if that's what you received or not, Dee, but
I'm not judging him.
You were correct. You're correct on that, Jack. And that's why I'm just curious, because I see it like, oh man, there's got to be something wrong with this guy to want to think that way. But it doesn't.
Well, hey, as I understand, maybe this isn't offering a lot of credibility towards what I believe from your perspective. But can I know? I mean, are you willing to discuss what is preventing? What is it that you think is not there, or that? What is the doubt of a God or a creator?
Oh, of having faith and feeling that it's a personal drive, where my sense of accomplishment, it's something that I've always had. Maybe some people don't have it, and they find it in a religion, or they find it in another belief that something is controlling something. I've done a lot of research into being spiritual and believing in God, and believing there's a way. This is how this is life is, but I don't see the good in it. I don't see how that betters me by accepting that and then abiding by certain rules and just thought. And I think it clouds me.
I think I can understand, because Dee, where I came from, it took me a lot I put up a lot of resistance and struggle before I accepted faith.
Me too, and I'm Jesus Christ.
I've been fooled enough times that I was sick of being wrong. And it's funny, not to bring this completely about me, but the Live Without Fear trademark. After I'd invested in that, I'd hired a life coach as I was trying to grow in coaching. And he came from a Christian background, beautiful man, strong faith. I would not admit that the way to live without fear was through faith. I figured it had to come from within, self-drive, self-confidence. You had to build all this other stuff in order to have faith.
This is important.
And that is one way. What's that?
This is important what you're talking about right now.
Well, the way to have faith is, there's many ways, but it depends on what you want to have faith in. And so the best
you got to know what to have faith in. That's why you got to read the Bible.
Well,
but there are ways to get faith other than that, that's how Jesse's got it. He's got faith in truth, and like you got faith in truth.
There you go. Hey,
yeah.
Dee Dee, there you go. This is how I solved my dilemma, right? I refused to believe that there was like a God, and I couldn't picture like this. I didn't buy into that man sitting on a throne in the heavens, beard and all that. I didn't buy into that. But when I started to open my mind to the fact that maybe the creator of space and time is actually beyond space and time, and maybe I can't actually define it. So it's an unseen power that I can know. For me, God is knowledge. To know the truth, I swim through knowledge, right? And we all have the power of discernment. And that's what we are. We are experiences of consciousness.
I wouldn't say that God is knowledge. I mean, he is all knowing. But what I would say is this: you have the ability to see God in the information that is provided through this internet, books, and stuff like that. You can see God in that, and so you have that gift of seeing God in that. But trying to settle God on one thing is never a good thing.
Right. And you're right. And I don't mean to limit God with a definition.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, God is all that is. God is now. God is now, and all that was and ever will be, God is. We are only as real as our experience.
Do you have free will?
I think I have free will, but free will is given away once we make excuses and blame. I know that for sure.
So we all have free will. That's one of the things. Then we've been given the gift of discernment, and we all have free will. We're living in this matrix slave society that, wants us and tries to force us to do things, that maybe we don't want to get up and do some days. But, we all have that free will and that choice, right? We have the choice. Some people choose not to be in the matrix slave society and choose to live on the street. And so when he was asking, he was saying that, you're controlled. That's your religion, and, God is a controlling. And I think that's kind of the difference. And I don't have that same view as, our creator, as that controlling. We have this free will to do what we want while we're here. And the rules, the only rules that our creator that is I guess is natural law. The treat others how you want to be treated, treat the environment good, everything is love. Yeah.
God is
commanded to
love.
Love is the law.
Law of love is the truth.
And the stuff they teach in churches and all these other places, they don't, there is no hell. Like, there was never in the Bible hell. My girlfriend, she's read the Bible 5 times. She's read it twice in its original text, and she studied cultures and languages at the time that it was written. And so when I have some questions about the Bible, she's definitely my expert to ask about, because, she studied it immensely, because she had to get away from the religion, because, it told her if, she got away from it, that she was going to burn for it. And it was really hard for her to be in a religion that was hurting her so much, that hurt her so much,
Well, the beliefs are what hurt her. The beliefs are what hurt.
No, the other people's beliefs that they could hurt her because they're casting demons out of her and, harming her physically and sticking things and just really fucked up shit that they used from, the belief in the Bible and stuff. So they did some horrific things to her.
A lot of the most horrific things have been done in the name of Jesus. The whole thing is, there's a reason for it.
Well,
Satan has always tried to.
Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we are coming up on 4 hours. This has been.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I'm just privileged to be with you guys. I was enjoying being with you guys.
There's reasons for everything. Lots of horrible and disgusting things have been done in the past in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, in the name of many things. Many people have done some horrible things, but here's the meaning. It brings us to today. Today starts the rest of our lives, and we get to choose what we do from here. We can repeat the patterns of yesterday. We can live the same life as those before us, or we can grow into ourselves, seeking greater knowledge, greater love, greater service, seeking more. I think that's what we should do. Seek more.
Absolutely.
With that, any last words? I don't mean to drop at the end suddenly like this, but
Oh, where can I go to get this link?
Amen, brother. You said it right, correct.
Thank you.
Yes, that is so beautiful.
What link were you looking for? Is anyone?
For this
Yeah,
video, so I can download it. Is it gonna be on YouTube or something?
this will be on YouTube on just my channel, I think, today. So,
Jack, can I
Can
ask
you just send me the link
Jesus one more
whenever you
question?
can?
Can I ask Jesus one more question?
Jesus, you got
my Mr. Jesus Christ. I feel that bisexual people, homosexual people can do whatever they want. I don't give a shit. What are your feelings on your people being homosexual?
Well, let me tell you this. Homosexual men love men more than women love men. So I'm not mad at them about that. Because our women don't treat us as good as some gay guys treat men. Is it right to be gay? No. But are gay people bad people? No. They are confused just like you're.
So it's not right. You say gay people are not right. That's the words from Jesus Christ. Gay people are not right.
The words
That's
from Jesus
one
Christ
reason why I wouldn't believe in that.
Everybody is not right. Everybody sucks.
We're free, natural people. We should be able to do whatever the hell we want, love who we want, what we want. And you're telling me that we can't? What kind of Jesus Christ are you? Seriously?
Can I answer?
I think you should.
I'm the Jesus Christ that does only what the Father wants me to do. I believe the way he believes because it's right.
So
how
you're
do
not
you
the
know
leader.
you believe how he believes? How do you know that?
How do I know I believe? We gotta go into the hour. I can't explain it to you.
All right. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe that's a question for another day.
I'll
he already answered it. It's good
like
enough.
you said, you want to give me an
He already
hour.
answered it. He's just gonna dwell and dwell and dwell. No.
Well,
Hey Jack, good panel tonight, buddy. I'm out. It's nice meeting you guys.
Thank
We'll
you for
see y'all later.
participating. Love you, brother.
Respect, brother. Much love, and thank you for joining. You know what, Jesse? Seriously, there is something magical about what you have created with the missing link. It's because of
Crazy
you
magical.
and the missing link that I discovered the Paul Unslaved. And Mike, the Paul Unslaved, introduced me to, I think, all of the faces that we saw tonight. So something magical is happening, and we are a part of it. I don't know where it's going to end up yet, but I know there's amazing things coming.
Can I say something, Jack?
Please.
I have alerted Jesse to the fact that I believe that he is a biblical character and he is Boaz. I don't know who you may be, Jack, but I figured out that Jesse, I gotta go back and show him how I did it. I gotta go back and do it again. See, the thing about the truth is, once you find a truth, you don't have to question it. It's just, that's the truth. Like that's why you guys have such good convictions about love and about what you see as true, because you've seen that play out for the benefit of humanity a lot more in time and time again than other things to which you guys stand against.
But there's a book. Yeah, there's a book called Ruth, and there's Ruth and Boaz, and so he's says that I'm Boaz, the other pillar.
He's. I believe.
Hey,
I've had it proven to me a lot of times that he's the other part of the door.
Tell you what, I want to explore this later. I'd love to hear more.
You have an awesome night. We love you. Happy Easter, brother. You're doing amazing work. Like I said, I'm so proud of you. How much things have, done so much better in your life in the last few months, and your hair, and you're just clean, and like it's just I'm just feel so happy, brother. Like you're doing good.
Thank you, brother. We all are. We're all.
And I'm happy to see you, Jesse. Dude, you just got out of crazy surgery.
Yeah. Amen.
And you are like back to normal. You haven't complained one bit to me.
Hey, much love, health, and blessings for all. Thank you to everyone who
blessings
tuned
and
in.
abundance
And
on both everybody in this chat room right
now.
Do
the subscribe thing too, if you would, because we're going to start a movement, and you who are joining will be part of it. God bless.
Please subscribe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.